Welcome to No Clue Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Tyler.
Mike.
First pod of 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's been so long, man.
yeah. Um, a lot has happened. We are one day removed from Super Bowl 59. Big trade has happened, but we'll start with the Super Bowl. We'll start with the Super Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles um, disrupted the Chiefs' plans of having a three-peat. It's tough, man.
It,
This is a tough game to even cover. It was a complete beatdown by the Eagles. Um, the Chiefs just looked soft in like every way.
yeah.
The Chiefs O line was absolutely disgusting. Kelsey had a shameful performance, and the quarterback obviously takes the brunt of all the blame in most of these kind of games. Mahomes did not have a good game at all. But positive side, the Eagles looked fantastic. The Eagles looked like one of the best teams I've ever seen in my life, honestly. Like they just had so much talent, so much grit. They really wanted to win this game. They look like underdogs that came to win. So, what were your thoughts?
Dude, they showed so many stats throughout the broadcast that were
Mhm.
just like eye opening to how dominant the Eagles are.
Yeah,
Bro,
like
like
dominant in the game or throughout the season.
both. I
Yeah,
mean, their offensive line is the heaviest in NFL history.
that was crazy
Bro,
and taller.
Jalen Hurts looked as comfortable as I've ever seen him.
Yeah, their offensive line averaged 6'6", 338.
Jesus Christ, it's like gigantic.
Yeah, that is gigantic.
And you watch how they systematically dismantled everyone in the NFC, and you kept thinking like they can't overwhelm everyone like this.
Hmm.
And now they've overwhelmed the team that was like on the cusp of history.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought a crazy
door
thing
open.
leading up to the game was Pat Riley giving them the trademark.
Yeah, for the repeat.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, yo,
Yeah,
Eagles got to see that.
yeah,
And it definitely felt like they were extra motivated. But it's like the way Kansas City looked completely inept. I've never seen that.
yeah. Me either.
Like, think about
Me
what the
either.
narrative would have been if they won.
If the Chiefs won,
Yeah, because think of the last 2 years. They went from playing awful all season, then dominated through the playoffs, and then dominating start to finish.
hmm,
And you're looking like, why would Kelsey retire? Andy Reid's not going anywhere. This team is getting better. Like, oh my God, are they ever going to lose?
yeah,
And now it's like, are they maybe a little softer than we thought?
right,
Which is just speaks credit to how insanely good the Eagles are.
yeah. I mean, the Eagles just it was just like bully. They just bullied the Chiefs in every way.
Bro, they had like 8, 9 guys starting on rookie contracts.
Yeah,
It's like, so you telling me these guys they just went to a Super Bowl a couple years ago and they haven't been missing in the draft.
yeah. Almost in the they like all their drafts were like defensive stoppers
And
or
every single one of
O
them felt
line.
like made a play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, some moments just looks completely unfair in the game.
Yes.
How do you feel about Hurts winning MVP?
I'm not mad at it because it was so balanced. Like
Yeah,
Hurts poised throughout the game. He started right away. He was confident, composed,
yep,
was not
yep,
rattled at all. Even
yep,
the interception early on was gross. Didn't phase him. Like the next drive, he's still throwing it downfield, taking like comfortable chances.
yeah,
I'm really not mad at it. I like it.
yeah. I like it too. I like it too. I think multiple people could have won it. I think AJ Brown could have won it.
Yeah.
I think Sweat could have won it. Honestly,
Hmm.
he's a monster. But Hurts is the engine that makes the team go, and I mean he deserved it. He deserved it. I think Sweat should have got more credit though, because I mean he was a beast.
Dude, he just couldn't be blocked.
No, he couldn't.
It's like every time the Chiefs would like even attempt to take any like momentum or just like do something positive, it was the line. It was Sweat right there, blowing it up immediately.
Bro, when they literally picked up a dude and pushed him into Mahomes for Mahomes to throw that second interception,
Yeah.
that was crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Like someone gets displaced enough that he forces an interception by an elite quarterback.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see because the Eagles, like, again, all these rookies. I mean, this team is not going anywhere either.
The Eagles should trademark 3P because they easily could. Like
Exactly.
they're
And
young
to
enough
me,
to go 3
like,
years in a row.
they're the blueprint now that teams are looking at. Like, do we need to draft bigger? Do we need to, like, look at the lines more?
Yeah.
Because they just dominated, dude. Mahomes, Kelsey just were completely overwhelmed.
Kelsey Mahomes played bad. I'm not taking any credit off of how bad he played, but
What was worse, this game for Kelsey or Mark Andrews' performance in the Ravens loss?
right, this game was worse for Kelsey. Andrews was really bad, but this game, Kelsey, like one time ran over Kareem Hunt when Kareem Hunt had the ball.
Yeah,
Like Kelsey, get out the way. Like multiple times. His blocking was terrible. I mean, I know you. I mean, no one can get open all the time, but the few times he was open, he wasn't like he didn't look like he really wanted the ball.
he was
Which is
frustrated
very
immediately.
great times. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he looked like he got taken out of the game like
Hmm.
mentally for the
Yeah,
night,
yeah,
relatively early.
which was just so like I just didn't expect that. Like I really was watching the game thinking like no matter how bad it gets, like I expect composure from the Chiefs to at least like keep watching and worry about it.
Yeah,
And the Eagles were in complete control. Like it was never a doubt.
yeah, yep. Um, you got anything else on the Super Bowl?
No, I like it for Mahomes. I'll say that because it was getting a little too easy for him.
Yeah, yeah.
So he needs a little
I,
fuel.
yeah, and this season overall, I think he had a weird season. It was a down year for him in general.
Yeah,
I think he needs a. I think he kind of needed some fuel for the summer. Um, See what happens. And the Chiefs, I mean, the Chiefs have a lot of work to do as far as their roster construction goes. I know that
yeah,
Mahomes and Kelsey and I mean Mahomes and Kelsey alone can carry them a lot of times, but obviously when these other teams are getting younger and getting bigger, Chiefs have to adjust if they want to still
yeah.
compete.
And now all their rivals in the AFC were like, oh, these guys are beatable. Okay,
Yeah,
like now it's our time.
yeah. So they gotta hurry up and make a move before it's too late for teams start, eliminating them. Okay, Josh Allen for league MVP. Do you agree?
No, no, but okay, we could let that go.
Yeah.
I will give him some credit. To me, this was his best season.
Hmm.
Like top to bottom, it was his most consistent year. It was his most like his talent clearly outshined any of the mistakes. I mean, that was the biggest thing is he cut down on the mistakes.
Good. He absolutely did.
And he's kind of done this before where like you see the strides to like there's an avenue for me to believe in him.
Hmm.
I'm not there yet, but like I could see in a year or two he can potentially be in the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I get it. It's kind of like it was his turn, kind of to me.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why
I
I
know that's
didn't
not the
like
right.
it, but I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's not the right way to look at it because I wouldn't vote that way, but I could see the voters feeling like finally Josh has like reached the point where he's MVP. Like you can actually argue him actually being MVP.
Yeah,
Like other years, he's been really, really good, but you really can argue the MVP. But now it's like, all right, he led a team. They lost their best player in free agency, and now whatever. They were just as good without him, without Diggs. But Saquon's season was like one of the most legendary seasons we'll ever see in
yeah,
football.
yeah.
So kind of tough. And then Lamar and the Ravens were fantastic too, but maybe not as consistent as Saquon. Okay. I don't have anything else football. You?
No, it was a good season, man. Very competitive. I know the two teams in the Super Bowl kind of pulled away, but there was a lot of teams battling. There's a lot of good games this year.
It was. Do you have any feelings about Rodgers saying he's not coming back to the Jets?
None at all. Good for the Jets.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the uh more exciting sports league.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, the NBA. So, as most of you have heard by now, Luka Dončić is now a Laker, and he was traded for Anthony Davis and Max Christie. Luka becomes a Laker along with Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris. And Jalen Hood Shafino snuck in there to the Jazz.
That's a good little
Poor
trivia
Jalen.
question down the line.
Who was the third?
Yeah.
What third team was involved in the Luka Anthony Davis trade, and who went there? Jalen Hood
Dude, I'm not gonna
Shafino.
lie. This was jaw dropping. I'll tell you now. Like, because this was
Really?
Saturday going into Sunday. I remember this was Saturday night, I think.
Yeah, and it happening like a whole week before the actual deadline made it really weird. Not
Yeah.
whole week, but like 5 days before the actual
Yeah. Like
deadline.
leading up to all the significant moves that are about to be made.
Yeah, normally this would be one that like 5 minutes before the deadline's over. Oh my God, they just
Yeah.
did it. Like,
And this was
yeah,
just, it's kind of better that we're going a little later because honestly, like, my reaction initially was just pure shock.
hmm yeah,
But now we've had some time to see both teams process and react to what they did, and we
yeah.
got to see a little insight into how it came to be. What are your initial thoughts?
Um, I am more perplexed with the Lakers side of it, actually. The Mavericks side, I'm not
Okay.
that surprised. I get it. The fact that this Luca makes it a little bit surprising. The fact that the Mavericks got already have like obviously Lively and Gafford are nothing like Anthony Davis overall, but the fact that they have the threat, those threats, and still feel like they need Anthony Davis with those threats that kind of already do what they'll probably use Anthony Davis for.
Yeah.
That was a little bit weird. But the Lakers side, to go away from Anthony Davis and to get Luca, while LeBron is having a very good season. It's not like
Great.
LeBron is like he's not decaying at all.
None. No,
Again,
he's like playing on both ends. He looks younger than he did last year.
yeah, he does. He looks a lot better than last year. Actually, even the year before that, this is like his best year in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So to do that and say, "Hey, let's just try something," that was weird for me. That was weird. And not to get Lively or Gafford in the deal. Just say, hey, no, we don't need one of your bigs. You can just have one of ours, and we're just gonna go with Jackson Hayes or Mark Williams, and that got rescinded. But we're just gonna go with Jackson Hayes. So trading Max Christie and then what would later be Dalton Connect uh, this week, that was really strange to me. Two of their youngest, most talented guys, and then trading Anthony Davis, someone who is a lot easier to build around than Luca, in my opinion. Like future
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah.
So that was weird to me. The Luka part of it, Luka's had a really bad attitude for the last 3 years, at least 2 years, both in the NBA and overseas. Um, Kyrie has come, and we know Kyrie's not the best chemistry aid in the league. He may be bottom five. Uh, I don't know if Luka and Kid were getting along from what I've seen lately. Seems like there was some weird stuff there.
It's almost like both. Like he seemed to not want him to be traded, but also seemed to like have issues with him.
Yeah, yeah. Like it was almost like yeah, it's like if you got into a fight or something, and then the like the kid you fought got suspended or like got expelled. You're like, man, yeah, I didn't like him, but I didn't dislike him that much to
Yeah.
get expelled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like so it was like that. So that was kind of a weird scenario. And then the Luka not being in shape thing is it's been like 5 years of him not being in shape, and Dallas talking about it publicly multiple times. Um, so that part, I could see Luka not feeling. I could see a team not feeling like Luka is the right investment for them, even if they already have.
I just I'm with you on all the Luca concerns,
Yeah,
but I also remember like the Western Conference playoffs last year
yeah,
where he was eliminating the Wolves practically single-handedly.
yeah,
I mean, I remember the Phoenix a couple years ago, same thing, practically single-handed. Like his attitude sucks, but
yeah,
like to make this move over all the concerns you said, it doesn't justify how good he like to give up how good he is.
yeah,
I mean, you just went to the finals.
yeah,
You were in the ball. I mean, I'm not even going to go to the finals because Boston was better. But again, you walked through the conference in large part because of how good Luka is.
hmm,
I don't understand if you're a culture, if you're trying to set a culture, Anthony Davis. Like this is where I kind of flip it to the Dallas side of things. Like we're looking for culture. It's like trading him for Jimmy Butler. Like why would you do that?
Let me ask you this: what what's weirder, this trade or the Towns trade? Both teams
Hmm.
were only the teams were only 2 games away. Towns had 60-point games last year. Towns was fantastic. He built their culture last year. They make it to the Western Conference Finals. Like I said, 2 games away from being in
And
the
blame
finals.
him. Like you're the problem.
Yeah, and they trade their second, maybe first best player
And
for
they get a
Randall.
guy who's inferior, like as far as leadership goes.
I like Randall, but there really is literally nothing Randall does better than Towns on the court.
It
Not to
just his
me.
attitude is so much worse. Like forget the skills.
Yeah, so this trade is akin to that to me, in a lot of ways. But I think Anthony Davis is again the easier fit, and because Anthony Davis didn't take his trade kicker in this is the one thing I think people Dallas didn't really take advantage of it, but I think people who didn't dig deep into the contract part of this, AD didn't take his trade kicker. That means they still had like 28 million left that they could have done something else at the deadline. I mean, the Levine trade was already kind of in motion.
This is
Jimmy, I
where
guess,
this is where a
didn't want
lot
to
of
sign the
people have
extension.
called Dallas cheap.
Yeah, yeah, but if you look at it on paper and you say, let's say they did take advantage of that extra 28 and they went and got like Ingram, and you said Luca turned into Ingram and Anthony Davis, then would it have been a bad trade? Not really.
No.
But they have Ingram money, they just didn't use it. So maybe in the offseason they go get somebody, somebody
This is
bigger.
this is
But
where like a lot of people have presented it as like a finesse from one side or the other. And the more I
yeah,
think about it like that, like it doesn't make any sense from either side to think of it like this.
right, I agree.
Because to your point, more would have been involved.
Yeah,
And it's just again, for the Lakers, I get it completely. As a certified Lakers organization hater, this makes
Yeah,
the utmost sense to me.
yeah.
You
Long term, it
completely
definitely
ignore
does.
the character questions. You get the most talented guy you could possibly get, and
Hmm.
you let him run the show.
And on the flip side, they say, well, okay, LeBron, and let's say let's make a scenario where LeBron goes to the office and says, hey, I only got 2 years left here. Once Bronny's contract is up, I'm out of here. Bronny's probably out of here. I got maybe 2 years max. I'm not feeling good. I want to go home. The Lakers say, okay, well, how do we replace LeBron quickly? Luka Dončić. He's white LeBron already without dunking.
He
So
has as good a case as anybody to be the best player in the NBA.
yeah, so this makes if even if there's not, but even if the Lakers are just thinking, hey, LeBron's almost done. He doesn't even really like us anymore. He wants to go to a different team, probably to retire, whatever their thought process is. Lakers thinking long game. How do we replace LeBron when LeBron leaves? We get Luka Doncic and worry about the rest later. So that part of it, the long game part of it, makes perfect sense. The right now part of it,
None.
I don't think that this move did anything for LeBron
The
other than
Lakers
like
were beyond LeBron. The Lakers were playing phenomenal as a unit,
they
bro.
were, yeah,
Hachimura is playing his best. Austin Reeves is like borderline a fucking all-star. I mean, AD was
yeah,
cooking when he was playing. Like everything was working. Their rotation looked good. Vanderbilt got healthy. Christie looks good. Bronny was getting clocked. I mean, it was
yeah.
literally all falling into place.
Connect was looking like the steal of the draft.
Connect was lighting it up, and it's like all of a sudden you wake up Sunday morning and Luka Dončić for AD. Like, why the fuck would you do this?
Yeah,
That's where it's like from Dallas, I see it. I see the immediate like reason. I don't see the future reason. For the Lakers,
yeah,
I see the future reason. I don't see the immediate reason,
exactly, exactly.
and
Right
it's like
now,
breaking my brain. But go ahead.
yeah, right now it doesn't help the Lakers at all. In Dallas, if like I said, if they had taken advantage of that deadline of the extra trade money they had, it could have made perfect sense this year. Like right now, had Dallas went and got Ingram or Levine right after the trade, they'd go right to the finals. To
Right.
me, like they'd have a team good enough to go right to the finals.
Hmm.
Um, but instead they traded Quentin Grimes for one of the Martins.
And it's AD getting hurt first game, non-contact. I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of his on brand for him.
yeah,
And he was cooking like he often does when he plays, physical.
yeah, yeah.
Again, if he's healthy
Yeah.
for the playoffs, I'm likely picking Dallas.
Yeah.
But I'll be watching with a clenched fist the whole time, like, eh, yeah, they're gonna get enough stops, but who's gonna take command? Who's gonna set the tone? Like, I really don't know.
Yeah, and I really don't want to see the Kyrie taking dirty shots. I don't want to see the Iverson Kyrie thing again. Like I'm over that.
They have way
I've
too.
seen
I'm
enough of
hoping they have too much depth to do that.
it. Dinwiddie? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, he's had some good
Is that
games. He does kind of he has kind
Dinwiddie
of
up
peaked
there?
in Dallas a little bit.
He has, yeah. He's had good games here and there. All right. Moving on. Let's go to the Jimmy Butler trade. Jimmy Butler,
Finally, what this
after
was a
initially saying
saga.
he wasn't gonna, I know, he wasn't going to sign the extension. Initially, he said that. Um, the Warriors somehow, I guess, talked him into it. It really isn't even an extension. It's more of like an extra kicker for next year, and then one more year. It's really 1 year extension, not a 2 year extension. It's like he already was on contract for next year, so he just got a little more money for next year, and then he got an extra year on it. He wasn't going to sign the 4 year extension, I guess. So Jimmy got traded for Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and Lindy Waters and Dennis Schroeder.
All
Um,
great pickups for Miami, by the way.
yeah, Miami kept Wiggins, Kyle Anderson. Then they flipped Schroeder and Lindy Waters
God damn.
for
I man,
PJ Tucker and Davion Mitchell in a first
rough
round
world
pick.
out here for Schroeder.
The Jazz got Josh Richardson and KJ Martin. I don't know where KJ Martin was. Like he's been on like
Was
four
he in
teams in like a
Philly?
week.
Wasn't he in Philly? I
He
thought he
was, but he got traded to the Pistons before that.
yeah,
So like in the
missed
same
that
week.
one.
So I guess it ended up being like a 4-way trade or something. So the Heat get Wiggins, PJ Tucker, Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell. Then the Heat flipped PJ Tucker to the Raptors and KJ Martin, Josh Richardson to the Jazz. Dennis Schroeder, Lindy Waters to the Pistons. So the Heat really only kept Wiggins and Kyle Anderson and Davion Mitchell from I don't know where Davion Mitchell was. The Raptors.
I believe so.
Point is, Jimmy Butler's on the Warriors. Really, the rest of it means nothing. I mean, I think Wiggins on the Heat is cool, but I don't know what Wiggins plays every night. It's a different Wiggins every night most of the time.
No, yeah, that's Miami's not. I mean, they're solid, but not solid enough with these additions.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There's
Kyle
there's too
Anderson
many
doesn't
there's
fit the
too many
Heat, so
exciting teams in the East for me to even like worry about Miami. Like they might go far, but it doesn't even really matter.
we're not going to win a championship with that team.
Yeah.
Bam
But
is like at an all-time low since
but
him and Asia
Jimmy
Wilson announced
on the
their relationship.
Warriors is exciting.
It is.
You
How
want me to go
exciting.
first on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is man, this is a clash of cultures as I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping because I like to like seeing Harden this season. You know, guys aren't necessarily washed up. Just because they're getting later into their playing years.
Hmm.
A lot of times, there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Yeah.
But this is the most selfless brand of basketball in the NBA, and they
Hmm.
acquired the most selfish player of the last decade.
Is he a selfish? Is he selfish on the court though?
Absolutely,
You think so?
he coasts.
Yeah, he does
He's a
sometimes. But
coaster. I'll never forgive him. I think he's the originator of the All-Star game disrespect.
no, he is. He absolutely is. I was just telling someone else that the other day.
Yeah, I've told people that a number of times over the last few months, but he has systematically disrespected the game more and more since then every year.
Yeah, he is.
And I've listened, if you're a regular listener, I mean, at his peak, he's like Michael Jordan-esque. I mean,
He is.
in the mid-range, you just can't do anything with him.
Jimmy Butler probably has the least flaws in his game, maybe in the league.
And you
Top
saw
five
it
for
right
sure.
away in that first game. I don't know if you saw the little bit of that first
Yeah,
game. If he plays like
yeah.
that, oh my God, they're dangerous. I tell you right now.
They're super.
If
Yeah,
he's a mid-range assassin, if he's slashing constantly, screening constantly, and playing off of like their movement, oh man,
yeah,
it's over.
yeah, yeah. It is. I agree.
But
Yeah.
again, like it's a good basketball move because I believe in Steph's leadership. Like this is the one
Mhm.
guy you could pair with Jimmy, and I think Jimmy could take a step back.
Yeah,
And not just on the court, like personality wise.
yeah.
But to me, like the Warriors did nothing besides this.
Hmm.
Have you watched their lineups in the last like month?
Yeah, their
Oh my
depth
God,
is.
they're small.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I love it for like a lot of the wings. Adding Jimmy,
Hmm.
like now you match up with Ant, you match up with KD, you match up with a number LeBron, Kawhi
Yeah.
potentially. But oh my God, you don't have a center.
No.
And your defense is like Jimmy's a solid defender. He's not in his prime. You really
Hmm.
can't strap with the NBA the way it is now. If you don't have help side, you can't strap.
Yeah, and And if they don't have a center that can do more than just like dunk, like it's just not like Trace Jackson Davis
Or
and
he's just a
Looney.
dunker.
Yeah, they're just not going to get it done. When you're playing against Jaren Jackson, who can do everything, Jokic, who can do
Playing
everything,
great, by the way,
Sengun, who can do everything.
at his
Um,
peak, like getting better and better. Like all these guys are young.
yeah, and Sabonis, who can do everything. You got
Sabonis,
five,
I mean, Denver's only climbing in the standings the last 2 months, so Jokic is not going anywhere.
and Wimby. Didn't
And
even
oh
say
my God, the
Wimby.
Spurs. I mean, we'll get to that.
Yeah, you got six bona fide like centers that basically have no flaws in their games. Like all five of them, or all six of them can do everything
And
on the court.
Dallas, we talked about Dallas. Look at their front court potentially. Good God.
Yeah, and AD. Yeah, I didn't even mention AD.
I
So
just like getting Jimmy doesn't make sense to how you match up with everybody else.
yeah, getting Jimmy and some of the other bigs that got moved, we'll talk about later that they just like didn't make the move on. It's kind of tough. Like they
And I,
could have at least got Tice,
and
at
I don't
least.
understand why they would believe in him when he like specifically shunned them.
Yeah,
Like he
at
pointed,
first,
it came out to the public that he didn't want to sign an extension with specifically the Warriors.
that's the only team that I heard that about.
Yes.
Yeah, like he'll sign with the Suns. Why? Why would you? What's better about the Suns than the
It
Warriors?
makes no sense. And
Yeah,
it's like we could look at it a number of ways. Like, oh, maybe the media is like getting shit wrong, sure. But
they didn't
again,
say how much the extension would be. It
like
could have been a low.
Jimmy has played his way and no one else's way for so long.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe that he's gonna flip the switch and just be a utility guy and take over when they really need him. But I hope
Okay.
I could be wrong. Harden looks awesome this year, and I completely was out on him.
I'll I'll counter. I think um Jimmy has been anti-system for a long time. I think the Heat. I've noticed Jimmy shutting down when like the Heat would play with like too much structure. Like Jimmy doesn't. This is what Steve Kerr does well, probably better than any other coach. Steve Kerr puts guys out there and just says, "Just go play your game, and we'll figure out how to play your game." With a lot of players like Jimmy, with Wiggins, with KD, with even D'Angelo Russell, like he let them just go out. Hey, you do what you do, and then we'll figure out how it works after that. I think the Heat, Spoelstra is very kind of tight about how his guys play. You see a lot of guys go to the Heat and they all of a sudden tighten up how they play. Like
Yeah,
Terry Rozier is nothing, is like a different player on the Heat. Like he used to be someone who really thrived in chaos. He goes to the Heat and like now it's like weird. Like why isn't Terry Rozier taking shots? Like he's doing a lot of passing. Like what's going on? This isn't Terry Rozier. This is a different dude.
yeah.
Um, Crowder went there and was kind of weird. Gerald Green went there and was kind of weird. You see a lot of guys who normally thrive in the chaotic kind of game go to the Heat and like it just doesn't work. I think Jimmy coming to the Warriors, he'll. I think the freedom will motivate him. I think he'll maybe take one bad shot, look over at the bench, and Kurt's is like, hey, I mean that's your shot. You just gotta knock that down, and then he'll be motivated like for the rest of the game. I know that's something minor. It sounds kind of um, juvenile, but I think he really is that kind of player where as long as the coach can recognize that he's playing his game, I think Jimmy is fine.
Yeah.
I think that was one thing that worked for him in Philly for that short amount of time, and he did like it. But once with Miami, he probably, I mean, I'm sure he liked the structure at first, but I've seen Spoelstra get a little bit tight with how he runs the team. If Jimmy does something a little bit off kilter or off the game plan, you look over and they're fighting. Like Spoelstra and Jimmy are, like pushing each other out all
Yeah.
of a sudden.
But to me, like on a smaller extent, that's why I believe in Steph so much. Like that freedom you
Yeah.
talk about, like he's the obviously the catalyst for it. He kind of like it's not even like it's almost like a natural thing. Like he just makes you
Hmm.
play more like him, more selfless, more movement, more energy. Uh but the hilarious thing to me is like again, this team is still limited. So
Yeah.
what's going to happen when they don't play well and Draymond Green tries to talk to him?
I was wondering that too. What happens when Draymond tells Jimmy, "Now you were supposed to be over here"?
Yeah, yeah, because that's
It
coming soon, much
is.
sooner than later.
The next crunch time game is coming.
Because so this
Yeah.
to me is like this is a chance for Draymond and Jimmy to really like hope potentially prove people wrong.
Hmm.
Because you know what they've been personality wise, this shouldn't work at all.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not the case. And I hope they could channel that into like a more positive kind of team energy, like Draymond's been able to do in the past.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's to me this trade is actually a little more exciting than the Luca one because I think their ceiling is higher. Like this year, this
Luca and LeBron, just as the two of them, is just so incredible together. I feel like it's still a little more exciting.
it sounds cool, but I think the lows will be lower than
Oh, for sure, for
Any
sure.
Warriors lows. Yeah. The highs will be like career highlight plays, but the lows will be like really trash sometimes.
Yeah, but
But
again, I'm excited for the Warriors. At least they didn't do nothing.
yeah,
Like
I agree.
this is a game changer. This Jimmy's going to be a key difference maker, whether they could beat or even win or lose a series potentially.
Yeah,
It's just, bro,
yeah,
like right before he got there, did you watch the late that Laker game when LeBron was just like showing out?
yeah.
It was like him, like, bro, he's out there in like preseason show out form.
Like when they who where were they playing? Were they playing Detroit or I forgot where they were playing somewhere in the East. It was an away game, right? He was going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, way back in
yeah.
the day. Yeah, Detroit in the playoffs.
No, no, no. You're talking about this past week, right? Right
Oh no,
before
yeah,
Luca
against the
got there.
Warriors.
Oh, you mean the Warriors game?
Yeah,
Oh,
right
yeah,
as the trade happened, I think he might have
yeah,
just been getting there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That,
I'm
yeah, that
like, yo,
was.
like guys are Austin Reeves is getting to the rim with no like protection.
He had a really good game that game too.
Yeah, and Reeves has really been cooking. But the Lakers in general have been great, but the Warriors have been the opposite. The Warriors have been
Mhm.
playing awful.
Yeah, they have.
So they had to do something, and at least this is something.
I think this is going to be big too. Like on court wise, Jimmy being able to bring the ball up and kind of
Yeah,
play every position is going to be, and not do it in such a shy way like Wiggins, because obviously on paper Wiggins is really versatile, but there's games where like Wiggins just doesn't want to do it. Like for whatever reason, he's like shy to even catch the ball,
yeah.
and Jimmy's never going to be like that.
I also
So
am excited to see Kuminga fit into that.
yeah,
Because again, like having good wing depth, you can play small if you commit to it.
and having good cutters, and
Yeah,
Jimmy
it's
is an
just you
elite
gotta
cutter.
commit and not just by default because we're tiny, we're just gonna put tiny guys out there. Like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, moving on. Next trade: De'Aaron Fox traded to the Spurs.
Mwah, mwah,
The
perfect.
Spurs trade Trey Jones, Zach Collins, and the Kings trade Kevin Herter and Jordan McLaughlin, who I thought was on Minnesota, but whatever. So the Kings receive Zach Levine, City Sissoko, 3 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks. Spurs get De'Aaron Fox, Bulls get Kevin Herter, Trey Jones, Zach Collins. Spurs get Jordan McLaughlin too. Bulls get a first-round pick. So Fox goes to the Spurs, Zach Levine goes to the Kings. Uh, I love it. Absolutely love it. I love
Love
it
it.
for all the teams involved,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. Sacramento with a slight reset, which they need. Getting a good haul of picks is very necessary for that.
Yeah,
They made the step with the coaching fire. There's probably gonna make another move.
yeah.
I'm not sure
Probably
if
like
they'll
first week of
keep
off
both
season.
Sabonis or DeRozan. I mean, Sabonis they seem to believe in, but I don't know if DeRozan fits into that.
Yeah, I think they'll move DeRozan for another point guard pretty
Yeah,
quickly. Probably like first week of the off season. Like DeRozan got traded there like first week of the off season last year.
but
It'll probably be the same.
De'Aaron Fox teaming up with Wembanyama is a match made in heaven, basketball heaven.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, the speed, the pick and roll threats, the I mean, imagine having the fastest center and the fastest point guard on the same team. You have a lefty throwing lobs to a righty, which is any NBA point guard brings this up when they set the pick and roll to be able to use the pick and roll going to your strong side, while also being able to toss it over your shoulder to someone to their strong side
Yes.
is perfect. Um, And then Fox and CP is like an kind of sneaky, really interesting like guard backcourt because Fox is big enough to kind of play the two at times, and he runs the floor so well. CP is gonna find him. Like I think it was I don't know if it was the first or second game with Fox. Him and CP were in the game in the fourth quarter, and just it just made sense. Like
Yeah.
they controlled the ball really well. Um, and Fox is a very low risk player. He doesn't take any bad shots. He doesn't turn the ball over. I mean, sometimes you could wish he was more aggressive, but he doesn't play out of his game ever.
I'll tell you, with the Spurs, like just the first couple games impressions, the spacing is like night and day better. And they don't
Yeah,
the shooting is not.
no.
That's where like you kind of get fall in love with spacing and it's like how are you getting it?
Hmm.
And to your point, like beyond the CP Fox connection, Fox has looked great with a former teammate he was with for a few years, Barnes.
Yeah,
Like again, I've been a certified Barnes hater, but teaming up with a guy he played with for a few years, it
yeah,
just makes too much sense.
yeah,
And those first
yeah.
games, like Barnes is cutting, Barnes is like getting rebounds in traffic. He's making
Yep.
decisions that, like back in the Dallas days, where he was a multifaceted player, which I really don't see from him now.
Yeah.
Like the chemistry, just watching them immediately makes so much sense.
And this kind of goes unspoken a lot of times, but putting a player back in their hometown, like I mean, his family, his wife is from San Antonio. He grew up in Texas, in New Orleans. Like his area, like people want to go play for their home
For
state,
sure.
or at least want to go play for where they grew up. He went to Cypress Lakes High School in Katy, Texas. Like, and his wife went to I want to say Texas Tech. Yeah, I think Texas Tech. Like this is, I guess, it just makes sense because now they're gonna sign long term. His wife her family still lives in San Antonio. He's gonna sign long term. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I will say
Like
these
I've
first two games, their
uh,
depth, I like it on paper. I don't like what it looks like.
yeah,
If that makes sense, like when the ball gets away from either CP or Fox making the decision, more often than not, I don't like it.
yeah,
And that goes for like Vassell. Vassell has really regressed as a playmaker to me,
yes.
which is kind of like hit and miss because I do like him. He's doesn't really need to be one with the team they are now, but
Hmm.
you still got to make a good decision when the ball swings to you or the possession kind of gets to you.
Yeah, his shot selection has been really weird.
Weird,
Like,
and
why are
it's
you taking
why are you
contested jumpers on
settling
this team? Yeah,
exactly?
yeah,
And I'm curious. I'm curious how like Wemby and Fox haven't yet looked for each other a lot.
no, they haven't. They haven't made the duo yet.
Yes, and I'm curious because they've been talking a lot, and you've kind of seen them try to. And I'm really
Hmm.
curious this next month or so how they progress.
Is Popovich back? Haven't they haven't
I
shown the
swear I
bench?
saw him sitting there at the in the Charlotte game.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Uh,
sure he'll figure it out.
but I don't want to commit. I'm not 100% sure because they didn't really cut to the coaching staff a lot.
Yeah, the one when I was watching, I didn't see him cut to the staff at all. I feel like they would have if
But
Popovich
they've
was there,
been
but
they're playing better than we thought, even before Fox got there.
hmm
Like
I think
they were about five
one
games under than like what would be a good year for them.
yeah,
But it's that's close enough to me with kind of a random collection of young players.
and even in the games they lose, they're competing. Like they're losing by 5,
Hmm.
by 7. It's not like they're getting blown
It's
out often.
inexperience a lot of times that's costing them.
Yeah, to your point too, Castle sometimes dribbles more than he needs to. Like maybe he's like a 3 dribble limit. Like, hey, if you can't get by him in 3 dribbles, you got to give the ball up. Like we're not doing 3 behind the backs and a
I
spin
also don't
move
like
and
I
all
don't
that
like how
stuff.
he shoots, man. I hate guys that shoot slow.
Yeah, he does
Like
shoot
if your
slow.
release takes time, if you're not KD's height, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, yeah. Sohan is kind of lost in the sauce in this
Random.
team now. Yeah.
It's kind of he kind of fits perfectly because he's so random, and then other times, like you said, lost in the sauce. Why are you out there, bro?
Yeah, because you realize now he doesn't really do anything particularly well. He just isn't really bad at
And it's
anything.
so
So
gross that they played him at the like. It's even more gross in hindsight that they played him at the one.
it started him at the one.
Yeah,
Played him. He was
it's
their starting point
disgusting. Like
guard.
it's a disrespect to point guards that they did that shit.
It is. It absolutely is. Um, yeah, well, a little about Levine on the Kings. You got any analysis for that?
No,
I like it.
I like
I
it
like it.
from a strict firepower perspective, and they're a team that they've been sneakily winning more than you would think.
Yeah, they went on a crazy run after they fired
Um,
Mike Brown.
yeah, which whatever. But as far as firepower goes, Levine is healthy. If anybody's seen the Bulls, so he's gonna light it up.
He's having like one of the best years of his career.
Yeah,
Like he was actually, if the
yeah,
Bulls were they won some games. He could
and
have been
he's
an All
played
Star
with
this year.
DeRozan already, so that's an easy connection to me.
Yeah, and it was better than I think people like are choosing to remember it, even though it was only a year ago. Like
Yeah,
people are acting like it was messy and it was trash, but it also had to play
injuries,
with Vucevic.
injury. Oh well, yeah, for sure. But injuries was more of a problem to me. If you can't
Yeah,
play, me and you are out there, and we can't play more than like 10 games without me missing a week. You miss a month, then our
yeah,
starting point guard misses the rest of the year. It's like there's no structure. There's nothing to build on. And then on top of that, you got a loser playing center who only wants
yeah,
to pop out.
yeah,
Not much I can
yeah,
do.
yeah. So it was. I think people like they're not remembering the good parts of that duo. It was a really good duo at times. They just didn't, like you said, the injuries, and then with Vucevic, it just wasn't the best fit for the rest of the team.
And I like that we could talk about Sacramento in the off season and be interested in what they do.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
off season and even moving into next season, like the moves, the potential moves they could make, I'm excited to see that.
I'm not even sure what their contract situation is. Like, I don't know if anyone's expiring or not, like this year, but
Hmm.
I would like to see this team next year. Like, if they just get a serviceable point guard in the offseason, I would like to see this team exactly how it is. Like,
I wonder how their year will end because it'll kind of depend on the draft pick, you know.
hmm
If they
yeah,
kind of slip at the end of the year and get a little bit earlier, maybe 10 to 15,
yeah,
I could see them finding somebody.
yeah. I mean, yeah, there's guys out there. Okay, what's next? Brandon
Let's
Ingram.
Oh yeah, Ingram first. But after that, let's double back to the Lakers for a second.
Oh, let's go there first. Okay, let's go back to the Lakers real quick.
So, because I wanted to mention this because it kind of does tie into the big trade.
Yeah,
They attempted to acquire Mark Williams,
from the Hornets. Yes, for Dalton
which
Connect and Cam
yeah,
Reddish.
yeah, I don't like losing Connect, but I like it because you desperately needed a center.
Yeah,
And I need your expertise here. Let me just run down this timeline for you
yeah,
before, because again, I'm a little confused here. The trade deadline is February 6th, right?
yes,
Mark Williams played February 1st, and he put up
yes,
20 and 15.
yes,
Pretty healthy there, right?
yeah.
He played February 3rd, 23 and 14 against the Wizards. That's light work. Definitely healthy there.
Yeah, he's putting up like Malone numbers.
The day before, he played 25 minutes. Didn't have a great game, 6 and 5.
Yeah.
And the next day, he can't pass a physical.
Was his physical on the sixth though?
Seventh, eighth. Now, again,
Well,
maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Charlotte is insanely dumb as an organization.
yeah,
But
that's possible.
I'll be honest, this kind of looks like they tried to trade his ass while he was hurt.
Not only that, so when they say people don't pass a physical and they rescind these, it doesn't necessarily mean he's injured right now. It could mean he has a stress fracture that he's playing on, and the Hornets never told him. Or it
Oh,
could
dear
mean
God.
he'll need. No, well, I'm just saying. Or it could be he needs shoulder surgery at the end of the season, and the Hornets never told the Lakers, even though he can play on it now. That so when that happens, it doesn't necessarily mean that he can't play right now. It means that there's something in the physical that the Hornets knew that they didn't tell the Lakers.
So to my point, the Hornets are trifling as fuck for this.
I mean, yeah, or they didn't perform their own physical on him. I don't
Which
know
is
how they wouldn't have known.
which to me,
It could just be asthma. It could be something that simple.
that's crazy to me that they to me like it just everything points to the fact that they didn't disclose it.
Remember one time, maybe I shouldn't even bring it up because I don't really remember. But one time, a player had a heart murmur, and they were trading him, and he had a heart issue. Like it wasn't,
Was it
he could still play.
Levert? Wasn't it Levert? Am I tripping?
Maybe it was Levert.
They found it right after, like as soon as he got there in the physical, like getting to the team, they found like some crazy new shit.
Yeah, and the other team offered to take him back because they didn't know that. But they didn't.
Oh,
But the other, but they just decided to keep him. Like they said,
okay.
well, hey, we didn't know that was a problem. Like we'll take him back because obviously, like why would I trade someone who has a chronic heart who could drop
See,
dead in the middle of the game?
this is where I needed
But
your expertise because I didn't know the physical could be like, most even like small future thing.
yeah, like Jared Sullinger. Remember Jared Sullinger from Ohio
Yeah.
State?
Yeah, yeah.
He obviously played 3 years of elite basketball,
I
but
remember
at the
he
draft,
lit up the TBT this summer, bro. Did you see him?
yeah, he was cooking.
Phenomenal
But
shape too.
when he went to the draft, his physical said he had a back issue
Yeah.
that wouldn't work forever.
Hmm.
So he didn't get drafted. I mean, he did get drafted,
He
but like
slipped.
he should
He
have
slipped from
top
that. I remember.
he should have been top 5 based off his college play.
Hmm.
But yeah, they were like, well, it's not gonna work out. His back issue is too bad. So like obviously his back wasn't bad enough to not be like 2-time national player of the year.
100%. Yeah,
But
yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. too.
It
He's
was
had
just
a
a
problem.
weird spot because they asked JJ at one point, and he's like, "I can't like, how you feel about Mark Williams potentially being in the lineup?" And he was like, the trade hadn't cleared. I can't talk about it. And I was like,
Right,
I've
right.
never seen a coach get put in a spot like that.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean
And this
it's
was
a
like
hit
a
for them.
few days after the deadline. So to your point, the physical could have happened like Friday or even Saturday.
Yeah, and it could have been like I said, it could have been asthma. It could really be that small. If you
I mean,
guys
whatever
didn't
it
know it,
is, it didn't bother him to cook Denver and Washington less than a
yeah,
week earlier.
he might cook. Like he could play his next game and cook. You
Right.
never know. Like it, but it's just the fact that the team that had him was either letting him play through the injury or they just didn't care or whatever. And the new team, it wasn't in the report because
Yeah.
actually before they said he failed the physical, what I read was that the Lakers rescinded it because the Hornets didn't disclose something about him.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
See, that's what a
yeah,
lot of shit in this story points to the Hornets being shady.
or not doing thorough
Yeah, it's
physical.
like
Like,
at best you're stupid because you didn't, like you said, didn't do your due diligence on a key player, whether you were
yeah,
keeping him or not. He fits like 10 other teams that would have loved to have him.
yeah. Well, like for instance, you've had a physical and them not necessarily taking blood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe the Hornets physical didn't take blood and the Lakers took blood and the blood didn't come back right. Like it could have been like that.
That's tough. It puts him in like a weird situation because now everybody's looking at like even their welcome back Mark Williams. Like, uh, it's kind of weird that you're welcoming him back after kind of ignorantly trying to send him away.
Yeah,
And to say ignorantly is pretty generous. I feel like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Hornets are really not making good decisions.
I really feel bad about Connect and Reddish in this situation because I mentioned this before. It's just like with a girlfriend. You guys talk about breaking up and you guys be like, nah, like I don't think this is gonna work anymore, and you decide not to. That moment, you're changed forever from that moment because she realized you were willing to end it, like for whatever the reason
Yeah,
was. So Connect now, he goes back to the Lakers locker room, like, I mean, you guys didn't even for Mark Williams, like you guys didn't even really want me like that.
yeah,
If you think he's
nah,
gonna sign his rookie extension after this,
hell nah.
right? So I mean, it's kind of tough, especially as I mean he's been playing very well. I think he's someone that eventually could be like a really good. He probably could be a starter, a token shooter starter for some teams,
Yeah.
like JJ was. So
It's just a weird. I really the JJ not having an answer really threw me off because I'd seen situations like the Levert thing. I remember, but for the teams to be this kind of in the dark and several
yeah,
days later, oh, actually the trade can't happen. Like somebody was being stupid here.
you remember Modi Hunas uh, from Montenegro back in the day did it for Houston, and
That's
I
right.
think he actually lied on his physical to not go to the trade, not get traded. And he got, I mean, they kind of kicked him out of the league after that. He
I
like we
remember
never
that.
saw him.
I didn't see
Yeah,
it validated because he was kicked out the league. Like I don't remember him 2 years after that. He was gone.
yeah, it was because he whatever that was, he tampered with the physical that time.
Yeah.
Back to the Kings real quick. I didn't mention they also got Jonas Valanciunas as a part of that trade. It really wasn't part of that trade, but as a trade, they got Valanciunas also. Valanciunas and Sabonis are very good friends. They have played international together for a while. So that makes that a little bit interesting. At first, just getting Valanciunas, I didn't really get it, but once I found out him and Sabonis have like been playing together for a long time, and like he helped raise Sabonis and stuff, then I was like, okay, I see it. I can
Yeah.
see that. I mean, that could work.
He was playing well. He was playing great for the Wizards. I know it didn't matter because Wizards are disgustingly awful, but it's still
Yeah,
like he's been in the league for over a decade now.
yeah,
He's been a starter, a backup guy. Like he's a good player.
that's for really good teams. Yeah,
That's why it didn't make any fucking sense that the Wizards got him to begin with.
it didn't make any sense that the Raptors let him go because he was great on the Raptors.
Yeah, facts.
Okay, Brandon Ingram going to the Raptors. Speaking of Raptors, for Bruce Brown Jr. and Kelly Olynyk in a first pick, which I felt was low for Ingram. I felt like that was kind of a low ball for Ingram, but I mean the Pelicans took it, so it is what it is. But Brandon Ingram to the Raptors. Any thoughts?
See, now that you say that, like, yeah, it's a low ball, but his injury track record is not good.
Yeah, but
Like, bro,
I
when
don't
was
know.
do you remember him playing like 4 months straight of basketball? Because I don't.
No, I don't. I don't. He gets hurt a lot.
He's never made it like through a season anywhere close. I kind of want to look
No,
up
I
how
don't
many
think so.
games he's played. I'm not going to because it's not the
I'll look
point
it
of
up.
the trade. But to me,
I'll look
that
it up.
that's why that's the only thing that makes sense for why the price was low.
Man, he's 27, man. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big Ingram fan, so let me not act
I
like
think
I
his
am.
upside is really good. He's just we haven't seen it.
His rookie season, he plays 79 games, and since then he hasn't played more than 64. He's played 18 games this season. Um,
Jesus
45,
Christ.
55, 59. Like he's in the 50s, low 60s, 61,
Bro,
62.
he's
That's
not
like his
qualifying for
average.
awards every year.
Pretty close. I mean, he gets 60s, man. Some
Yeah,
60s.
he's on the deadline every time, like stressing about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just
Tough.
the Raptors are. I mean, how many teams can you think of with a darker future than the Raptors?
I see absolutely no direction on the Raptors.
None. Like,
I mean,
where the
I don't
fuck are
know.
you going?
I mean, quickly, Barrett and Ingram just sounds like a gross set of guys to have on the court at the same time.
And it's
Like,
crazy
what are
because
you
I
doing?
like
I don't
all
know.
of them. I like
Yeah,
Scotty Barnes. I like Jakob Pertl. I like all their guys, and I hate the putting of it together. Like I hate this roster.
yeah, it's bad.
They got fucking they got the dude from Utah that was in Kansas. I keep forgetting his name. Uh Abaji, right? That's his name, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Ota,
shooter, he
Otai,
sucks, bro. He sucks, and they keep playing him big minutes.
and he randomly has a good game here and there.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater and I haven't seen him a lot, but I just
Yeah,
don't get like their coach is constantly mad at the refs. Like, bro, you guys
yeah.
suck. Like, respectfully, you don't hear the Wizards coach crying about the refs.
I know he acts like they're like the league is trying to keep the Raptors
Bro,
bad.
when you have
Like,
15
yeah, guys
wins
are
or
actually
10
bad.
wins, shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know what the culture they're trying to set. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. The potential of Barnes and Ingram is interesting to me. Barnes, Ingram, and Boucher. Can you imagine
Yes.
those three on the court at the same time? The length,
Yes.
the like them stretching in a 2-3
But then
with
you
the
think
whole.
about it, they're going to be playing with Jakob Pertl at the 5. And it's like, I'm less excited immediately.
Yeah, we're going right at Turtle. Forget the two outside guys. We get to the middle, is over.
Yeah. Then quickly at the 1, like, who's he guarding?
And who is he passing to? He's never passed.
I don't know. He's not getting it back. I can tell you that.
Right. So
The quickly's over score first guard.
yeah, they're a team that I think the coach needs to be a little like at this point the record sucks. I would just start trying like crazy stuff, like Scotty Barnes at the 1. Let's go Ingram at the 5. Like like this is the team you should just try stuff with because you're not gonna win. Like nothing's gonna happen from you trying to put your best 5 out there,
Yeah.
trying to get a good lineup in. It's not gonna work. This a
And
little more Boucher because Boucher for some reason his development got like stalled because for a while he was like when he was coming off the bench with DeRozan there.
you watch them and tell me his role. Like, honestly, I don't know it.
I
He's
know.
he's one of the longest players in the league. Barely ever uses his, like, I can't catch him getting a steal.
You know.
It's insane. I just I don't know if there's even like a development idea in place for guys. Scotty Barnes is getting better on his own.
And he's only getting incrementally better when he could be getting way better.
Yeah,
Like,
just because
you
he's
know,
like a pro who loves the game, so he's working on his game. But what about the structure of the team is like giving him some room for growth? Nothing.
nothing. Yeah, nothing.
That's why Ingram. I like adding Ingram to that because it's such a mess, and I
Yeah,
guess Ingram could peak here.
yeah.
But I just like why? What's the point?
But the thing is that's what makes the price tag interesting because they gave up nothing. I mean, don't no disrespect to Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk, but they weren't doing anything for the Raptors,
Fuck no.
and they're already young enough. They don't need any more picks. They start like their whole starting five is all 3 year guys, all on their rookie contracts, so they don't need to pick. Give it up.
Bro. And
That's why
it's
I'm.
it's
Uh,
crazy to me that the Pelicans like I guess picked Zion.
yeah.
Like that to me
Oh,
is if
between Grant Zion and Ingram.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
like I mentioned Ingram's injury history, like if that's why we're giving up on him, you got a fucking much better candidate over here.
Dallas claims they gave up on Luka for him being out of shape, and the Pelicans are rolling with Zion.
Like somebody explain to me what's going on.
And Zion is only a little bit out of shape. Like they
This
said,
is
Luka's
like
285 right now. That he
oh
weighs
bro,
more than Zion.
I mean Zion looked pretty good. I mean he always looks great when he first gets back. Uh
Yeah, but right now, the rumor was that Luka weighs more than Zion, and he's 2 inches short, or like maybe 1 inch shorter. Like, what are we doing? Plays point guard.
I just it's
Like,
the Pelicans to me, they're frustrating me so much more than like the Wizards and Raptors. Because the Raptors, the options are limited.
yeah,
The Pelicans, like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know why they're keeping any of the guys. Like, I don't know why they're keeping CJ. I don't know why they're keeping Zion. They getting they traded Valanciunas last year, right?
Yeah.
Like into last year. Like I liked that. I mean, I liked it for them because they just needed to move on. The Murray trade I liked because Murray was going to add structure to the team, but he's done. The team is done.
Oh, bro,
Like,
their injury track record is it's got to be a curse.
CJ had a whole collapsed lung. Like he's the only player I know that's ever had that in the
Oh
season.
man, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
but back to the price tag again. Like you're telling me, like Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk.
It's cheap.
Name
Make
me
no
one other
mistake,
player. Yeah, name me one other player you'd say you'd give up for Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk, a starter.
bro. A
Like I,
borderline all star. Absolutely not.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, like
I'm not
this is
sure,
one
bro.
I'm.
I'm not sure. Like, if I'm Phoenix, I wouldn't trade like a Royce O'Neal for these guys. He fits me better.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, this
exactly.
package sucks. I'm thinking about it. That's why you said it. I didn't think about it until you said it that way. Like, this is a low price tag. And I'm like, damn, based on the package, Brandon Ingram is some shit.
Yeah, like are the Pelicans even gonna keep them? Like why?
No, bro. This two organizations that don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I'll get more into the teams that I don't understand why didn't take this later when we talk about like teams that didn't do anything. But like,
Mhm.
there's some teams that like like this is right there.
It made
But
like so much sense.
yeah, like okay, Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, take that.
Depth,
Yeah,
hello. Veteran presence, hello. Here, come in, guys. Easy.
yeah, yeah,
Instead,
yeah.
they go to the
So
fucking bum ass Pelicans who can't struggle to get more wins than the Wizards.
yeah, I'm just shocked. Like if I'm the Raptors, I'm calling around saying, "Yo, we got a package: Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, and number one in a first pick. Who wants it?" And the Pelicans, we'll give you Brandon Ingram.
Deal,
What?
deal, deal. Hang up with everyone else now.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
I'm thinking of like the
Uh,
Moneyball scene when he's when he's checking the prices.
yeah, exactly,
Uh,
exactly. Okay, Next one, Cavs landed DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks in exchange for Karis LeVert, George Niang, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks. Which
This
seems
see
high, actually, for me.
see
Talk
this
about
is
a
where
low
like
blow. This is
sometimes
high.
I'm a certified hater of a player, and I'll take a step back because it's like I don't want to be a hater all the time. Like it's a shitty way to look at players. Uh,
Yeah.
and then shit like this happens, and it's like I guess Hunter was playing great basketball because that's not what I'm seeing. But
He's
the
having his best
Cavs,
year.
the Cavs who were playing, arguably peak basketball in the NBA this year,
Yeah.
to risk a good chunk of their depth
Yeah. 2 very important parts of their depth.
for a player that like the potential to give them more is there, but it's like, what about what you've seen from him tells you that?
It's definitely it is absolutely a gamble, absolutely a risk. Especially when you know Niang and Levert help you, and you know exactly how they help you.
And they fit
Hunter
like
is a guy
their
you get,
chemistry
you're
was
not
so
sure.
flawless with those guys.
Yeah, and you're not. I mean, you get Hunter, and you're not really sure how he helps you, but you know he can do something. But what it is yeah, it's kind of a wild card.
That's what this is like
It's a
more.
wild card for
I
the
do want to be more positive because like there are variables that I believe in. I think I told you like I believe in Kenny Atkinson figuring it out
Yes,
more than probably 80% of the other coaches. Uh,
yes,
but at the same time, like I'm a little worried for like who is going to have to take a step back. Is Struce taking a step back? Is Hunter having to take a step back from what he was in Atlanta? And is he going to be okay with that?
hmm
Like maybe the Cavs want more from him as far as like plugging him in as a starter and a two-way guy.
yeah,
So that's why like Atlanta and obviously a big you could blame a lot of Hunter's flaws on how Atlanta plays.
yeah,
Their lack of structure makes this such a gamble
hmm
because again, on paper it looks great,
yeah,
but the shots he takes are nothing like the shots Cleveland is going to get for him.
right,
Like he has to create for himself in Atlanta, which I don't know why. That's idiotic in itself.
hmm
But now he has to find a level of rhythm with never getting that.
yeah, and he's not really a floor spacer, so
Like he
and
can
that's kind of what
shoot,
the Cavs need, I guess.
but that's the thing. It's like Atlanta, everybody just shoots, whether they can or not.
I don't know if he shoots better than Okoro. Like I don't know if he's that much better of a shooter. I've seen him hit more
Yeah.
threes, but
I'd say just
Okoro
from the
takes a lot
hits,
less.
he's better. But do I believe in him over a Coral? I
Not
not
really.
really.
And
Again, on
we
paper,
don't
I
need
would
him
because
to.
he's bigger. He's much more like a physical specimen.
Yeah.
But it really hasn't translated. His progression as a player is like 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 a Norman Powell. Like he's improving like a Norman Powell, and that's not what
Yeah.
Cleveland needs at all.
Like he's improving to be a better bench player.
He's improving to be a more efficient scorer, I would say.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. That's not what they need. No.
But it's like,
I
yeah,
think
like you
the
could take,
chaos.
is he really going to get
Uh-huh.
a floater in Cleveland?
No.
He took a lot of fucking floaters off the dribble, and every time I was like, why the fuck is he doing that?
Yeah.
And it's like here, again, I don't know. I think I'm just hating. I do think the upside is there, and Cleveland has a great coaching staff.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm just nervous because I just haven't liked how he played in Atlanta.
Yeah. I'm not a Hunter guy either, and I think that for me, because I've watched a lot of Cavs games, the loss of Levert and Niang specifically make this
Yes,
fade weird because
yes.
what Levert did for them as a scorer, as a spontaneous guy, as like the third guy that you need a good defender on. Like people, I mean, it's watch if you're a basketball player and you watch the game, teams like the Cavs, you have to think, okay, who do I put my best player on? Donovan Mitchell. I mean, my best defender, right? Donovan Mitchell. Who do I put my second best defender on? Darius Garland. My third best defender, Levert, is eating him alive. That was Levert's. That was like Levert's role. Like, hey, you got Austin Reeves on Levert. Levert's getting buckets. Like he's not getting 40, but he's getting buckets. Hunter like eliminates that because he's not that kind of like he's not gonna do that. He's just like, okay, Austin Reeves can pet DeAndre Hunter. Maybe I get that this was probably more of a defensive pickup because
Hmm.
I mentioned this the last 2 years. The one thing the Cavs have been missing was a wing defender that can guard Tatum,
That's one
Brown,
thing Levert could
and
not
guys.
do. He could get buckets, couldn't get a
Right.
fucking stop to save his life.
So I get that this trade is probably for that, for Hunter to be that stopper for them. But then you lose Niang, who's like one of your best ball movers, best shooters off the bench. You lose two of your best shooters on the team, and you get Hunter, who is just a spotty,
Yeah.
you know,
To me, by default, either Struce or Hunter have to take a massive step back from who they were.
yeah, or a massive step forward into being a lot better than they were before the trade. One or the other.
Yeah, and I
Like,
don't really want either of them to do like either extreme.
yeah, like now either Strus has to take more shots off the dribble than he probably ever has in his career, or
He's getting
Hunter
less
is going to
minutes.
have to, yeah, or he's getting less minutes. Right,
And
exactly.
now it's like even
There's no
harder to
one
be a
to-
shooter at that point. So and then how do you really expect Hunter to defend at a high level if he's not really playing steady minutes? Again,
Yeah,
it's tough. Kenny he's got his work cut out for him.
and you have him out there defending and not contributing that well on
And
offense is going to be tough
the
too. You're
final way
playing,
I'll put it, I guess Cleveland to me has like shown the best chemistry this season.
yeah.
That's why I'm more nervous than excited for a gamble like this. Because if there was chemistry questions, I would love this move.
Hmm.
But it's the opposite where your chemistry is so good. Cleveland might have been the only team I really didn't want to make a move.
Yeah, I mean, especially not a trade. I thought they were going to maybe make a pickup, but
Oh
not
yeah,
a trade. Like,
pickups are always like possible to me.
yeah.
But to me, like a trade, you're really changing your depth and your chemistry where in a way I wouldn't risk if I was them.
And Niang is like one of the best chemistry guys in the league. Like
Yeah.
he just he
Like
comes on your team and just does
it's
whatever you
rare
need
to
him to
have
do.
one of your further bench guys to be that steady, that consistent, and like just be such a good fit with every one of the other players. It's hard to
Yeah.
find that.
And these guys have won games for them. I don't think Hunter's going to win any games.
That's
I
where
mean,
it's
at
like
least not offense.
Hunter's weird because Hunter's like won games for Atlanta, but in
Yeah.
like not the way he's going to get a chance to in Cleveland. So it doesn't really translate.
Um, the Hawks getting uh the Hawks getting Terrence Mann and Bones Highland for Bogdanovich to the Clippers. So now the Hawks have Terrence Mann, Bones Highland, Levert, and Trey Young, which is a wild set of guards.
Bro, is Bones Highland ever going to get a chance in a place that like makes sense at least?
No, he's not. Not unless the Hawks buy him out, which I think they were trying to waive him. I don't know who would pick him up right away.
Not like
I mean, I don't.
I'm not eager for him to like crack any rotations, but he's not. I've never seen him on an NBA court where it made sense besides like garbage time.
I want him to crack minutes because I think there's guys that like is is campaign like that much better than Bones Highland to the point where campaign like is a certified six man and Bones is barely in the league.
Well, I don't. To be fair to campaign, like he's an energy guy.
He is.
Like I
Cam's
trust
nice.
him to bring energy. Bones is like an exciting bucket. I don't know if he's giving me that when I put him in there.
You don't know if he's giving you an exciting bucket.
Most likely.
That's what I mean. Like I know that.
But
Like
Campaign is more reliable with his role, I feel like.
he is. Yeah, I think campaign can fit on any team, but I guess what I'm saying is like I don't think they're so far apart that Bones
Oh
was
no.
like struggling to get on a team, and
I
Cam
believe
is
yeah, I agree with that.
like everyone's backup, like a instant backup point guard. I don't think they're that. I don't think Bones is that bad.
And let's be
Even the
honest.
bad stuff he does, I don't think he's that bad.
Let's put it right now. How many years does Terrence Mann have left?
3 max.
3 max. I'm thinking 3 to 4. I'm not no shot he gets to 5.
Yeah, yeah, he.
I
I
feel
don't know.
bad
I don't
like
know. Yeah,
the Clippers did him dirty in not necessarily like in the immediate way, but in like a future way where they fucked up his role to now like what fucking position does he play?
I have no idea.
It's insane. Like he's the cutter, he's the fucking point, he's the center, he's the two. Like what's happening?
He's like,
And he's not good at any of that
remember,
shit, by the way. Like, what are we talking? What are we doing?
remember when Damari Carroll had like that amazing
Yeah,
season, and then
that's the perfect comparison.
he got traded and just disappeared from all of
Yeah.
basketball. That's how man is gonna be. I think,
Oh man, the Clippers. It was such a like he was such a specialist for them, and they turned him into one.
or like Gary Neal. Remember Gary?
Yeah,
He was cooking for 1 year, then they
he
traded
was
him. He's
gone,
gone.
bro. He went to the Wiz. He
Yeah,
was on the Wizards for a second.
yeah. I mean, I think man, if man doesn't like come out and like really help the Hawks, I don't, I don't know who's
I
gonna
do
piss him
like
off.
man is competitive, so if they give him a chance, he might find a way. Uh,
Yeah,
but I just can't like what's the steady contribution he could give, especially the Hawks who just do random shit every night.
yeah. It's bad, especially because he was there for so long. Like you might as well have just kept him. Like he was still a Clipper for a reason.
Bro, the fans loved him. Like, come on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And as a Clipper organization, there's not a lot of players that fans love.
yeah.
But
I'm not gonna go into Bogdanovich's stats like I did over Texas, but Bogdanovich is not having a good season, guys. For the listeners out there, I promise you, Bogdanovich is not. He's not playing very well. But I guess Clippers get another chucker on the team. Uh, okay, moving on. What's another good trade to talk about?
oh, Kuzma for Middleton.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I brought that up before the pod. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Kuzma to the Bucks, along with Jericho Sims and Patrick Baldwin, who I think got retraded somewhere. Patrick Baldwin was in this trade initially, though. Chris Middleton to the Wizards, along with AJ Johnson and a first round pick. And DeLon Wright goes to the Knicks. Good pickup by the Knicks.
Let me
They
ask you
keep
something.
him.
Who the fuck is AJ Johnson?
He's like a rookie, like a second year guy, maybe.
I've watched so many Bucks games this year. I haven't even seen him.
He's no, he's tough. I wanna say he was G League Ignited.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I just didn't get a
I
chance.
want to say.
Because I've been wanting their young guys, but Doc is very selective with who he picks.
Oh no, he went to Donda Academy. Wow. Okay.
Oh wow.
But he did go. He did go.
Is he
Not,
accredited? Is he? Does he have? Is he?
did he graduate high school?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Uh, and then he went and played in the Australian League, and the Bucks drafted him 23rd pick.
Okay, I mean that's a cool journey. I just never seen him play. Doc doesn't give him a fucking chance.
That's not. Lots of rotations are trash this year.
Awful.
I mean, they're trash every year, but this year particularly, they're really trash. So Kuzma comes to the Bucks. I actually like this move. I don't love it, but I actually like it. I think Kuzma is versatile. Um, he can play 2 through 4 like legitimately, and he actually can score 2 through 4 legitimately. And I think he's one of those guys too that like if he's not scoring, he's gonna go there and go in and get some rebounds. He doesn't really hog the ball that much. Um, and he kind of has more more range of scoring than Middleton does. Like Middleton's mid range is buckets, and Middleton is a good catch and shoot 3-point shooter. But Kuzma can hit a step back three. Kuzma can go to the basket. And his mid range is, also probably his best attribute. So a good corner 3-point shooter too.
You know what? You had me at versatility.
Yeah,
And I told you this, off air, but watching the Bucks, they needed versatility more than every other team in the association.
yeah, I agree.
Like literally, you go beyond Dame, who's not really even that versatile. I mean, he's just awesome. Uh,
Yeah,
then Giannis, who's super versatile, and the versatility
yeah.
ends. I mean,
But and Giannis's lack of shooting hurts his versatility. I mean,
yeah,
his versatility is ball handling or dunking.
his flaws this year really like piss me off because it's like we're not getting better at shooting and regressing from the free throw line. There's no way.
Mhm.
I hate that.
Right.
And that,
And you work so hard to get up to the 3-point
but
line.
but
I
you
mean,
look
to the
up
free
and
throw
down
line.
this depth, and it's like specialist, one job, maybe two jobs, could do this thing, can't do anything else. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my God, you can't. How are you even surviving in the NBA playing like this?
Yeah.
I mean, I keep wanting to be mad at Doc for loving Torian Prince so much, but again, you look at this roster, and it's like, who
Yeah.
else is he gonna love as a role player? AJ Green for what?
He loves him too, though.
He does. He
I don't
does
know
like
why.
AJ Green a lot. I don't know why. On that one, I don't know why. Torian Prince, like I at least understand.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good point because the guys who are on the team now that aren't versatile, all of them can only score from one place on the floor. Like I love Gary Trent. I'm like one of the few Gary Trent defenders still. But if Gary Trent's not taking a three, I don't want him taking the shot. Like I don't want him taking mid-range shots ever.
Yeah,
He has kind of a nice floater, but he doesn't go to the basket well.
yeah.
Like he's like a spot up shooter that can bring the ball up court sometimes. And I'm trying to remember who else they have at this point.
And
I
bro,
mean, Pat Connaughton, if he's not taking a three, he needs to be out of the game.
yeah.
Not only, not just taking something else, he needs to just be not playing if he's not taking threes. So Kuzma definitely is a big change from that, from the guys who can only score from one place on the floor. Kuzma can score from everywhere.
That's why you literally like you watch it and you just it's another fit that just makes too much sense.
Yeah.
And Middleton as like a scoring guard is versatile. I actually kind of disagree. I think Middleton's a little more reliable to like score at different levels,
Hmm.
but he's been hurt a lot, which is kind of it's tough for me to make the case. Uh,
Yeah.
and it's just scoring.
Yeah.
His versatility in other ways, well, he used to defend, used to rebound. He really doesn't do that much of that.
Hmm.
And Kuzma is still in his prime.
And I will say, in Middleton's prime, he was by far. I mean, he definitely could score from everywhere. But the last 2 years,
Yeah.
and
It's tough for me
he's
though
just
because he
slower.
he
Like
was getting right, man. He started to look good that last like week or two.
he did, yeah. That's sell high
So
because
I'm not mad at
one
the
more
risk
injury
because
back
I don't
down.
think Kuzma's better, but
Yeah,
like he's been healthier, he's younger, and the versatility just makes too much sense. This roster sucks, and it infuriates me that just like I said, Dame and Giannis are just backpacking this roster through the entire season, and that's just how we're doing it,
yeah.
and it sucks, bro. I hate it. I hate watch. They're probably my least favorite team to watch.
No, and they have like players we both like.
Like,
and it
oh my
was hard to
bro,
watch.
Brooke Lopez is getting like worse than Vucevic.
I actually kind of like the Jericho Sims part of this. I didn't know he was in this. Not that I think Jericho Sims is like good, but like
I,
there's someone else out there.
give him a crack. Give him a couple
Yeah,
minutes, Doc. He's bouncy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
come on.
and Bobby Portis gives you the space to like your center doesn't have to be that good because
Was
Bobby can do
remind
everything
me,
else.
was Beauchamp in the deal?
Beauchamp was in a different deal.
They traded him though, right?
Yeah, Beauchamp got traded for
Either he sucks or they suck.
Kevin Porter Jr.
That's right, dude. I forgot about this. This is actually a good
Yeah,
pickup. I completely
it's
spaced.
it's a very good pickup.
Great pickup,
That was
dude.
second to last trade of the deadline. It really was the last player for player
Such a
trade of the
sneaky
deadline.
move. I literally wrote the shit down because it was a sneaky move I didn't want to forget and still forgot it.
Yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, I don't know why the Clippers didn't like play him more, but he's someone. I mean, he makes stuff happen.
They did
Oh,
this with
he
John
really
Wall
can.
too. I mean, for a different
Yeah,
reason, but it's like it's kind of the same result where when he's out there, it works. He's not
yeah,
cooking, he's not like getting right or whatever, but he's still NBA caliber. He's still a good bench player. He's still 6'8".
yeah,
His size is obvious every time he touches the ball.
yeah,
I mean, and for the Bucks to get him for Beauchamp, who they fucking hated, who they didn't give a fuck about,
yeah,
let's be honest.
yeah, yeah.
I'm happy for Beauchamp because he might get a chance on the Clippers.
He might take a man spot.
Yeah, if
That's
he
the kind of
works
game
hard.
he could play.
I don't know if he's a hard worker though.
Yeah, maybe not, but I could see him being that lengthy defender. He might hit some random shots, like
And it's like,
he
bro,
gets caught
Kawhi's
on a
missing
break.
time. That's clock opening up right there.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who makes those random cuts that man used to make. Like,
100%.
the defense,
Yeah, I can
he
see
gets
it.
behind the back line of the defense. So yeah, I think Beauchamp could be good there.
But again, going back to the Bucks, versatility. Like Kevin Porter
Yeah,
Jr. can play the one, he can play the two. He's big enough to be a fucking wing. He could guard multiple positions. You could incorporate him into the offense in different ways. And every guy you mentioned earlier, I can't do that with.
Kevin Porter Jr. is a really good pick and roll player. Again, he's a lefty. Believe he's a lefty.
Yes.
It's been a while. He's a lefty again, another
Very
lefty to
lefty.
righty lob guy. Um, nice handles. He's a really knockdown, amazing shooter when he gets his shots. He's kind of a volume shooter, but if he's hot, like he's scorching hot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it too. He definitely brings
The Bucks got
some
better.
excitement to the
The
game.
Bucks got like they looked at their roster and made honest moves to like try to get better.
Now, do the Wizards keep Middleton for the rest of the year, or do they waive him,
I
buy him
imagine they
out?
hand him off to another, well, let him go to a contender.
Middleton's a good pickup. Like I'm not sure who needs him. He's kind of a good
See,
pickup.
it's interesting. Shooting guard is like not shooting guard, but I guess combo guard is probably the least needed position in the league.
Yeah. Like I can't think of a team who needs him,
Right.
but
You go down the list of like the contenders, and they either have a specialist at his position, they have a star at his position, or their
yeah.
depth is just like what would you even consider? Like Desmond Bain, I guess, is just a starter, but he's a way better fit than like anything Middleton could give them.
Yeah, Middleton's not he's too old to help them.
Yeah,
They
it's
just have too much energy. Honestly, now that the Cavs lost depth, he would be a great backup wing for the Cavs.
dude. Him coming off the bench for Cleveland would literally it would clean up the chemistry concerns because it's now you get a lot of the depth back and you get a little more like versatility upside from two guys instead of one
And a winner, someone who's actually won before.
and a vet, like a true vet. He fits the chemistry right away.
Yeah. That's possible. I mean, I think even it might be kind of crazy, but the Suns could be possible. Him going back with Bud. Um,
I doubt that.
That could be
They
possible,
got
but
3 they got 3-star shooting guards over there.
they've been they've been trying to trade for a guard like the whole deadline for some reason
Yeah, and couldn't
when they
find
already
nobody
have.
because Phoenix is dumb as
Yeah,
shit.
they traded a Kobe for Nick Richards. I mean, that was
Yeah,
in
good pickup.
January.
Hey, they got rid of Nurkic. That's a win in my book.
Yeah, I didn't even bring that up, but Nurkic. I'll say some rapid fire ones. Daniel Tice going to the Thunder. I love it. Makes
I didn't
sense.
know that.
You didn't know they got
No,
Tice?
yeah, that's a great pickup.
Tice, Hartenstein and Chet, like all
Yeah, have you
energetic. They
seen
go
them
for every
healthy? Oh
spot.
my, they obliterated the Bulls the other day.
Yeah.
Hartenstein and
See,
Chet look fucking awesome together.
see with Tice is someone I don't know why the Warriors didn't go for. Like he would fit them perfectly. Tice and Draymond would probably be fighting. Um, Reggie Jackson's a free agent. Nurkic to the Hornets. Uh, that's really it. Cody Zeller is still in the league. Marcus Smart getting
Uh,
traded from the Grizzlies. Grizzlies get Marvin Bagley and Johnny Davis. Grizzlies get Marvin Bagley is kind of I like. Johnny Davis I don't, but Bagley I like a lot.
y'all like what you seen from Johnny? Ain't no way you haven't seen shit from Johnny. He hasn't touched the fucking court.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't seen anything.
Bro, they got Bob Carrington came in there and took his minutes instantly.
Yeah, yeah, pretty quickly.
But Bagley,
Johnny's
I still think
cool.
I would like to see Bagley out there. I think he could help.
Yeah, and a lefty. You got another lefty big. Bagley's another versatile guy. I mean, Bagley had a good little run for the Wizards. Like he had 10
Hmm.
games
Hmm.
where he was like legit.
Yeah,
So I like him there if they use him. It also opens them up for more trades. Smart will probably get bought out by the Wizards. Smart's a huge pickup
for
for a
somebody.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warriors. I mean that would be very nice. Get Steph not having to play defense as much. Smart and Draymond. Smart, Draymond, and Jimmy as a defensive lineup.
Yeah, I might. You
Oh,
might convince me that you don't need a center.
exactly. Smart will check your center.
Yeah, I can see it.
uh, we did get Alex Lynn. Didn't you guys have Alex Lynn before?
I mean, he was a Maryland guy, but I don't know if the Wizards had him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he went to Maryland. That's what. That's what it was. That's what
How
it
has
was. He's been
Alex
a
Len
second.
been in the league this long?
It's been a long time.
He's
Since
been
like
collecting paychecks
7'5".
doing bare minimum, bro.
He's like 7'2", right? Like he's really really
Yeah,
tall,
yeah,
something
he's
like
big.
that.
He's big, but he doesn't use that shit at all.
No, he doesn't.
I'd take
Uh,
tiny Jakob Pertl over him.
right. And the Raptors got James Wiseman. That concludes the trade deadline. Um, interesting, interesting deadline.
The West,
Probably the
dude, I
craziest
am
deadline.
excited for the West.
It broke the record for the most players moved. Did you hear that? 63
Oh,
players got moved.
damn.
63 record.
What was the record before that? Does it say?
No, I didn't see. It didn't. What I saw didn't say. It just said NBA record 63 players moved to the deadline.
It's
Didn't say
always
what
like
the.
it's not really a big deal if it was already close, but if it was like 40 and all of a sudden we damn near doubled that shit, like whoa there.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah. I don't know.
I can't really imagine like a deadline where a lot of like I can remember a lot of moves happening.
Yeah, and
This did
like
feel
a lot of
eventful.
players. I mean, in these even in these trades, it was like a lot of players for guys like Ingram and Hunter both were 2-for-1s. So that made it kind of there was like no 1-for-1 trades that we mentioned. All of them
Yeah,
were like 2-for-1, three for
weird. Like
two.
I guess if I had to pick, Fox was probably the most honest trade as far as like they gave up a lot to get him,
Yeah.
but it was also like, yeah, he's really fucking good.
Yeah, his trade probably was the most. the most fair trade.
Because he's a guy like I would have expected a couple guys and a package, or like a package of picks, or a big package of picks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean Jimmy Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and Schroeder for Jimmy is. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
I
not
guess
mad
that
at
makes.
that. That's close.
Yeah. Kuzma for Middleton was okay. Just okay though. Well, let's talk about some of the teams we're surprised didn't make trades before we go to All Star Weekend. Um, who are you surprised didn't make trades? You want me to start?
Are you starting with the Wolves? I wanted to mention them.
No, they were my second one, so you can go.
Yeah,
Wolves.
the Wolves.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
The opposite of what I was saying for Cleveland. It's like your chemistry looks awful.
Yeah.
Even when you're winning, doesn't look good.
Right.
And I don't know if there's any other team winning like a decent amount of games that's miserable.
Hmm.
I mean, Minnesota might be the only one, and they did nothing, as if they're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane how much more exponentially right you've been about Mike Conley since saying he's washed.
He's gotten more washed.
He's
Yeah.
gotten like more useless, more invisible. His
Yeah.
game is like regressing. And
And now they're trying to run DiVincenzo at the one, which
oh
is just
god,
not good.
ew. I mean, come
And
on.
then at the one, DiVincenzo at the two sucks. Like it's
Like
just
I hate
yeah.
all of that.
Yeah. And there's guards. I mean, I would risk getting deloading back before I did that. Like I would say like let's just try something else. We have a different team. It's not the same team he
Yeah,
played
that's
with.
true.
But like Kevin Porter Jr., like Marcus Smart is out there. You got guys who don't have to be like the old prototype point guards, but like
But at the
come on,
same
man.
time, look at the Bucks. And I told you, Dame and Giannis are so fucking good.
Yeah.
Backpack the problems away.
Yeah.
Ant and Randall haven't done that at all.
No, they haven't.
They've fed into the problems of the team. Like Dame is
Hmm.
trying to defend better. Ant is settling along with the team. Like the team is settling for jumpers. He's doing that.
He's
Randall,
passing.
like Randall has like aggressively proving that he's not a leader and that he has no
Hmm.
interest in being a leader. And it's like, how can I ask Jaden McDaniels to play hard every second if you're not going to do that?
Yeah.
Because Cat did, and it showed.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's like they found a guy to have even less chemistry with Rudy Gobert. How did
Hmm.
you do that?
Yeah.
Like
Tough.
every one of their players who was exciting last year, none of that. Jaden McDaniels hasn't gotten any better. Naz
Nope.
Reid looks worse. Picking up
Yep.
DiVincenzo, his great season last year looks like a fluke.
Yep.
Ant looks worse. Julius Randle looks worse. I mean, this is just a disaster.
Ant has definitely taken a step back. And I don't know why he's passing so
He's
much.
so
I don't know
fucking
why.
good.
Yeah, he is.
So it's like a lot of times, even with him stepping back, they're still capable of winning.
Yeah.
But it's the same pictures coming in the playoffs.
A lot of times they're just out. I mean, they have like one good quarter against teams, and it's like that quarter is so good they win the game. But like the other three quarters has been messy, or they've been even, or even like worse than the other team most of the time. So
I just I don't know how you don't freak out when your chemistry's this bad.
after just being in the Western Conference Finals.
And it's like to me, it looks even more like Luka dismantled them
Hmm.
because they overreacted, evidenced by the moves they made, and now are like in complete purgatory. The moves were wrong, and I guess I'm being hindsight Henry, but to do nothing at the deadline when 63 fucking guys got moved,
Yeah.
you look even extra worse. You could have
Yep.
added to that record.
Yeah, they already got the record. You might as well add to it. Yeah.
I just, again, how can you, what confidence do the Wolves have going in the playoffs? Like, I hope they don't think they have a switch.
Uh, their switch is like switching off most of the time.
Yeah, it's
Last few
getting
years.
whatever switch they had is it looked like they're losing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
Um,
man. I'm nervous about because they're gonna fire Finch and like extend this problem, not fix it.
right.
That's what I hate. I hate that the bad organizations, they'll scapegoat the coach and then the problem doesn't get addressed.
Yeah, because even this year, I don't really hate what Finch is doing. I just think that the roster construction is like
Not good.
it's
It's
pretty
just like
bad.
not good.
Yeah, and when especially if you don't have a good point guard, there really is nothing that the coach can do if the point guard's not good. Like I don't want to say Conley isn't good, but if the point guard can't execute what the coach is drawing up, then there's only so much the coach can do. Trust me, I've unfortunately dealt with myself. Like if the point guards, if your guards can't execute what's going on, the coach is limited,
Yeah.
and
And
Conley's getting exposed every night. And that's my guy. I love Conley, but he's just not
he's
there for
not
them to
a
just go.
threat, man. Like you have to be aggressive. There's again, the league is so high scoring for a reason.
Yeah,
And you have to be able to like manage the game, but always have a gear to take more shots, to hunt shots faster. And Conley just doesn't have that.
yeah. I mean, they could have taken a chance on somebody, um, but I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah, that's a good pick because I wasn't gonna say them, but they clearly needed to make some kind of,
And
especially when some
I'm
of these
gonna
price
remember
tags.
this in the playoffs for them. I'm like, really, guys? After not playing well all year, we did nothing when we could have.
Yeah. My pick is Memphis, and not so much that Memphis needed a trade because I don't really think they needed it because they're obviously very, very good. But seeing the price tags on some of these guys, for Memphis to not make that last trade to like their last step, they're like one step away from being like, the best team in the West. And they probably have more trade pieces than anybody. Like you tell me Bain and Santi Aldama is not a better package than Olenek and Bruce Brown?
I'll give you Brandon Ingram for that.
Easy.
Easy. We can work that out.
Bro, Conchar and Aldama could get Brandon Ingram.
All
In a,
right. You're
in a
getting a
pick.
little crazy there, because
But
Bane is
Bain is a
like a
lot better.
legit starter
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a lot better than Bruce Brown and Olenek,
for
both
sure.
of them. Yeah, so I mean, like I know Wiggins was in the Butler trade, but Wiggins was available. I'd give up Conchar and one of my other bench guys that's playing fantastic for no reason for Wiggins. Like I think there's a lot of guys that they could have finished their starting lineup. I think their lineup is every time I watch it, I'm like, man, if they just had one more person out there, instead of the rotating like randoms that just have a good game every once in a while. They just traded smart. Like even Jake Laravia was having random like
Yeah.
fire
Isn't
games.
Wells over there? Isn't Jalen Wells? Isn't he over there?
Yeah, he'd be gone. And, I mean, for me, or he'd be one of the guys I kept. Like, hey, maybe we can let Bain and somebody else go. We got Jalen Wells. He's playing really well. He can fill up the backup while we get a bona fide starter. Like, I don't know. They're just team. They're in like a different kind of purgatory, the good purgatory. Like they're gonna be good, but they're just not great. Like they're gonna be good enough to make it to the second round every year and then get blown out by
You
the
know what
team
it
that's
is? I
gonna go
think
to the Western
I
Finals.
think they don't have an identity.
That's part of it.
I think they're
Yeah.
just like, to your point, they're just stuck in like a purgatory of almost a contender.
Yeah.
But because like, I mean, in their eyes, I'm sure they are a contender, which they should feel that way. But you don't
Hmm.
really establish like the things you're gonna turn to when it's a struggle, when it's a slow game, when it's the game is not. That's why they've been so volatile, especially this year.
Yeah.
They obliterate teams, and it's like, oh, they're a contender, easy. And then other nights, it's
Yeah.
like, are they even a playoff team?
Yeah, like they'll get obliterated by Orlando, and you're like, all
Yeah.
right. I mean, Orlando's good, but are they that much better than Memphis? No, but they have their team is complete. Memphis just looks incomplete every time I watch them play, and I hate when like
You
there's
know, I agree with
these
you,
good
but I
teams
think
get
they
to
have
a
some
point.
of what Cleveland has, where it's like the chemistry is so good. I there's like a hesitation to like split guys up because it's working so well.
Yeah,
That's where to me at
but
their peak, they click really well together.
who's the second best player on Cleveland?
I would say Evan
Well, let
Mobley.
me let me let me put it this way: would you take 3-on-3? Would you take Ja, Bain, and Jaren Jackson, or Mitchell, Mobley, and Garland? Who wins that 3-on-3?
Oh, I mean, I would likely pick Cleveland,
Uh huh.
but it's a toss up. It's not like a clear cut pick.
I know it's not. I know. I'm comparing the two teams. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying yeah, they do kind of have a similar issue, but all the other guys, like after that, is who you put in the next two places that really complete your team.
That's where I agree with you, and like that's where Cleveland doesn't have their volatility,
Right.
where it's very like you're steady. Everybody knows what they're doing. It's very like the rotation is very clear. Kenny's on the same page with it seems like everyone.
Yeah.
Memphis, it's almost like a youth thing
Yeah.
where the guys kind of got put together around the same time, guys got drafted around the same time, and guys have like a similar expectation for what they're going to play like.
Yeah.
That's where it's like you're right that they're stuck, but it's they're stuck in such a good spot. Like I wouldn't be aggressive if I was them.
Okay. Well, that's why that's that's my thing. I think their roster is good enough that they didn't have to be aggressive. Like, is GG Jackson, Vince Williams, and Conchar an aggressive package?
No, no, it's not.
Yeah, so I mean, they could have gotten a really good player with that package.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
no,
way they've been playing. So I'm not saying they like I'm trying to think of a package without Bane because I think Bane they keep Bane, they go with Job Bane, a better three, because I don't even know who plays the three for them really now. It's someone different every night that plays good at the three.
yeah.
And
It's
then you got
they switch it up. Yeah,
yeah, so when you got Jaren Jackson and Edie moving forward. And you got Brandon Clark. I mean, even if Brandon Clark was a part of the package, you still have Edie, you still have Vince Williams, who's been playing good, kind of at the 3-4-5. I mean, at the 2-3-4. G Jackson's playing 2-3-4. Um, Jay Huff has been cooking. Like they have all these guys that cook, and they're when you get to the playoffs, only 7 of them are going to play. 8 of them are going to play. You're going to have 3 guys that had 30 at least twice this season that just aren't getting in the game. So that's the part of me. I'm like, well, let them go. And all the good teams say, all right, like Boston, they'll just give up 3 guys. Say, no, we want Derek White. Like, so I don't think that they needed it, but to go from good to great, like you said, from like good West team to actually a contender, like you can't tell me
the track
GG
record is
Jackson.
that teams still make moves. Like it's not you don't get good and just oh we'll get great. Like no 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 you find a way to gut from good to great,
Yeah, you
and they're
can't tell me
sitting there thinking they're great.
Santi Aldama and GG Jackson for Ingram. Like
Much
I
better
would
than
make that move
Bruce Brown and
instantly.
Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I
and
like Aldama a lot.
yeah, he's good. And then you have Ingram as your three with like, and you have that for 4 or 5 more years
Yeah, I
if
thought they
Ingram
would
can
be
hold up.
curious in Bradley Beal. To be honest with you,
How about Bradley Beal? I thought this was a Levine team,
but
bro. Imagine Levine and John
Desmond
Morant
Bain
on the break. Oh my God.
Desmond Bain is like if you were to rank every NBA player, it
Yeah.
would be very hard where you would put Desmond Bain.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
can't tell you what caliber player he is at this
yeah.
point because I really like when Ja goes out, he's like their number one option. And it works.
He-
Like they sustain playing well.
He's kind of like Michael Red when Michael Red was at his peak. Like
Yeah, and it's like
randomly, he
he'll
probably
do it
could average
every
25.
way. He'll play the
Yeah,
one a little. He'll just like attack as a combo.
yeah.
His game is so basic too. Like you think guys could check him, and it's you just can't. You can't. He pulls it back a little deeper. He attacks a little like. So I can't. I just think their chemistry is good enough where I'm not mad that they weren't aggressive. They could have been though.
Yeah,
To your point,
they could have been, and I think this year they could have went to the finals with this team if they were aggressive and they got someone else. But this team is just like I said, it's a good second round team. It's like they're
but
gonna
to
blow
me, like
somebody out first
a good
round.
second round team should be delusional to think they're coming out the West.
Yeah, they should. Yeah,
And there's an avenue
yeah.
there if stars align, they're healthy. I've
This
really
will
liked how Jaron is playing this year, a lot more inside out. He's still shooting a lot, but like his presence is a lot more inside out.
but this will be the fourth year they've been a good second round team. Like, how much longer do you want to do that? Like,
Yeah.
Aldama's not going to emerge
Or
as
yeah,
like your.
yeah. When you say four, you really think of four is a long time
It has been though.
to sustain that just the same level is. I mean, it's purgatory
Yeah,
for sure, but it's such a
yeah.
good purgatory. You don't want to risk making it worse.
The problem is this purgatory is the one that usually really blows it up. Like the last time Memphis was a purgatory good team.
Yeah.
Gasol was gone, Rudy Gay was gone, Conley was gone. Like everybody was gone. Like I don't to avoid being there. I think this is. I felt like this year was the time to pull the trigger. I think next year if they do it, these other teams will have already done it. Like Sacramento did it.
I'm
San
curious how
Antonio did
long they're
it.
going to wait for Morant to get healthy because, I mean, I talked to Ingram. He's got a similar track record where it's like every time they seem to get right, he's gone for a long time. And it's like
Hmm.
a struggle to get back.
Yeah,
And I think that's
yeah,
factored into them struggling to like even see that decision that needs to be made.
yeah. I mean, last thing, the Bulls technically got Herter, Trey Jones, and Zach Collins for Levine. You telling me Memphis couldn't put a better package than that without including a starter? Herter,
1,000%.
Trey Jones, and Zach Collins. Like I'm going to get Levine. Like
Yeah. Again, you'd think Zach Levine was trash.
that's what that's what I'm saying. The price tags on some of these guys, like, is I mean, if the Wizards don't keep Middleton, they gave Kuzma up for free
Yeah.
for a first round pick.
And Milwaukee's by the Wizards' odds of handing out contender pieces. The Bucks might go to the finals.
Yeah, so that's to me, that's where I'm like, all right, Memphis, like it seems like a no brainer. You have all these guys that are just never going to play in a playoff game. Kennard's playoff career is over. They'll have him. He'll never get in a playoff game.
I
Vince
don't know why he
Williams,
gets in
maybe.
now.
Right. Hunchard, no. Gigi Jackson, maybe. You got these guys, maybe, but I you got four untradables for me. It would be Ja, Jackson, Bain, Edie. Everybody else you can replace. And
Yeah,
you get
they
that
have the
fifth guy.
options. I'm curious. They're a team we're going to double back to because 4 years is a long time to sit where you are and not do anything.
What if they get DeRozan?
I'm I don't know how I would feel about that, to be honest.
DeRozan and Bain would be weird together. I feel like they'd like run into each other.
I don't know though, because Bane's got that like shoot. He's like he seems like he's primarily a shooter.
Yeah,
Like the way his game kind of develops seems like he started off as a shooter primarily.
yeah.
So I could work, but DeRozan is just a weird fit in general.
Um, any other teams you were surprised didn't do anything?
Uh,
I have one more. I'm not gonna go as long though.
No, because I thought they would do something, but looking back, I'm not surprised because they've been playing
Ooh,
much better. Indy.
okay, yeah.
Indy is
They
in
just
a
got rid of
similar
wide.
situation to Memphis, where I mean, if you're talking about a team that has a package to put up,
Oh yeah,
they could have got a fucking star. They could have got any of the guys we've talked about today.
yeah, without losing their big
The
three.
core, yeah.
Yeah,
So, and they have so much depth. Like, there's potential for them to still have some talent left, like some to put in the rotation.
absolutely.
Uh, but like when you're starting to kind of get your form back, and you were a potential contender last year, like it's okay not to overreact.
I will say the only problem with them is their guys that would be in the package are like all having a down year.
Yeah,
Like
they're
Nimbard,
not.
kind of-
Nobody's individually getting better for them, but the
yeah,
team wise, they're starting to figure it out a little bit at least.
yeah, they are. They are. Like Neesmith and Nimhard both kind of took a step back, and Matherin, like I'm still not really sure like
But
what's
it's like,
going on.
but you think about it, they're still going to be a massive factor in the playoffs. I think this is a team
Oh, absolutely.
that's kind of coasting.
And they'll use their depth more than Memphis will in the playoffs. Like at
Oh
least
yeah,
they did last.
for sure.
Yeah,
Last year it was
they
like
act,
their key aspect of the team essentially.
yeah. So I'm with you. I'm not surprised that they didn't, but they're a team that if they did, I also wouldn't have been surprised for sure. I have a team that's like the opposite way though. Like what is Portland waiting for? Like
To do what?
like what are they waiting? Like why do they still have all those guys? What are they waiting for to tank? Like what are we doing with Robert Williams? And why are we still paying? If I'm the GM, like why are we still paying Anthony Simons to lose? Like what are we doing?
He's
Uh,
having fun losing.
yeah, Simons, bro. They have Simons, Eaton, Thibault, and Abdiha, who's like we said, a most improved candidate. Jeremy Grant. Like, what are we doing with all these guys? Robert Williams, Jabari Walker. We have a bunch of guys that every other team that could help every team in the league, and we're just sitting on them to
Bro, you
catch L.
remember how long we talked about, not long, but like how many times we brought up Jeremy Grant and how exciting it was that like he will wherever he goes, it's gonna be a seamless fit. And that
Still
motherfucker
love,
picked Portland,
yeah,
and he's been irrelevant ever since.
yeah, he is.
Oh, it makes me sick, dude. Portland, I don't know what they are. Do they look like a team even committed to tanking?
That's my point.
They look
What
like
are
they're
they
like trying
waiting
to
for? Like,
rescue a playoff spot,
it does.
which
That's why,
is
like,
like,
bro, it's
guys,
over. Give it up.
what are we doing?
Yeah,
There's no way that Portland is more delusional than Sacramento, right? Like, it looks like it.
it does.
I just, bro, Portland. Can you tell me a West team that looks worse?
Here's the
None.
They're terrible.
I
They're
can put.
terrible.
There's teams I don't like. I mean, the Clippers, Phoenix. I'm not a huge fan of what they've built. I could sit
Yeah,
here for 20 minutes per each team, give you positives.
yeah,
What the fuck is going on in Portland where it's like the chemistry is getting better unbelievably late? Who cares? Who
yeah.
cares that now they have these mismatched pieces that kind of make sense? It's so fucking random.
Or they're like an old man who has lost, you know,
It's fucking
feeling
deadline,
in
dude.
both
This deadline
legs.
should have cooked the record.
I know they're like an old man who can't drive anymore, but still has a bunch of classic cars in the garage. Like, bro, what are you doing with those cars? Like,
Nothing.
you come over to your grandpa's house. Your grandpa hasn't driven in 3 years. Like, grandpa, why do you still have a '71 Challenger in the garage? Let it go.
Portland, get some motherfucking picks. Jesus, what are we doing?
Right? I mean, you telling me Orlando wouldn't have given picks for Anthony Simons, or like
Easy.
Thibault would help every team in the league right now. Grant,
Jeremy
look,
Grant can still help every team in the league.
every team in the league. Like Robert Williams would help most teams if he's healthy. I don't. I mean, I don't know if I'd trade a pick for him. 2 second-round picks I'd trade for him, and if he's healthy or not. The upside you get if he is healthy is worth
Avdia playing for a fucking max contract.
it. It's like, what are we?
In
I'm
Portland, and let's
just
be honest, Portland, Norman Powell was exactly this. He came there,
yes,
he cooked, they paid him, and then got rid of him half a year later.
yeah, Trent too.
So Portland has, I hate on the Lakers. Portland has a systematic, dedicated track record of just nonsensical decisions where
Yeah,
you're literally like, why? I'm just I want to understand. And I don't.
yeah, yeah.
Portland is just
I
like
mean,
in the worst purgatory you could possibly imagine.
yeah, Uh, good pieces on a bad team. Like they got 4 solid pieces that would go
Bro,
start
look
on
at that
any team in the
their
league.
starting lineup. You'd like, oh, maybe this is a playoff team. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. Give me Simons. I mean, no, Simons, Avdia, Grant, Aiton, and Shaden Sharp, and then tell me Robert Williams, Scoot, and
Bro,
you
that's
know,
a fire like top 8. There's not many top 8s better. And it's the most useless one of all the top 8s.
yeah,
Like, think about how much worse Denver is as a top 8, and like they get more consistent quality production from their guys.
yeah. That my point exactly. They're the only team that I'm like, why do you still have this team? Let it
Bro, and
go.
Portland wasn't even involved in a rumor.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, they
That's
was
why I'm shocked.
sitting there like phone down. We're good. We're running it
They
up,
left the phone
folks.
for you kids out there that are too young. When we were younger, you could leave the phone off the hook and calls didn't come in. Portland just left their phone completely off the hook. No
It's
calls
just the
coming in. It's
dial
over.
tone is it's just ringing endless.
Yeah, they're done.
Oh,
I
dude.
don't understand. Avi has averaging 15, 6, and 3.
That's where it's like I feel like it's funny to me. You see like fan bases like Dallas freaking out that they got rid of Luka. It's like at
Yeah,
least your organization is trying like to make moves that make sense.
yeah.
Bro, Portland, you can't even make a case. Like, find me a Portland fan who can explain what the fuck they're doing.
Oh, except for everybody except for Scoot because this is his first year, and I mean his second year, and Aiton are averaging right now more than their career average. Everybody,
Yep.
and everyone's over. I mean, and Robert Williams isn't. He's not barely. He's barely playing. So, but yeah. So they were high on my list because I was just looking like, all right, when Simon's going to Orlando, like that's the easy. Like makes perfect sense. He's from Florida. Orlando picks him up. They need a point guard. He's energetic. He's fast. He's young. Like, duh. Like it's an easy fit.
And if you watch Portland, like their guys are all playing well enough where it's like, wow, if I got him, he could really contribute for me.
Yeah.
And they're just stuck there.
See, I thought Grant was gonna be the Cavs move. I thought that
That
was
makes
gonna be who they got.
that would have been
I
so
was
much
like, okay,
better.
that would have been.
And that's like I'd
But
risk
yeah.
my chemistry for a guy with that upside.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Moving on. All Star Weekend. Last segment. We'll run through the All Star Weekend pretty quick because it is confusing and it hasn't been that exciting. Rising Stars Challenge, 3-team tournament again. Is it just 3-team? Or do they play the? Oh no, they'll play the G League Ignite. It looks like. or the former G League Ignite guys, maybe. I don't know. I d Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, G League All Stars, I guess. Head coach by Jeremy Lin.
Oh, nice.
Uh, so Team T: Kason Wallace, Jaime Jaquez, Grady Dick, Anthony Black, Zachary Vichache, Alex Sarr, and Tristan Silva. That's on Tim Hardaway's team. Mitch Richmond's team is the Thompson twins, Koulibaly, Scoot Henderson, Tumani Kamara, Eves Missy, and Bub Carrington. That team has some dogs on it. Um, Team Chris Mullins is Stephon Castle, Dalton Connect, Jalen Wells, Keontae George, Zach Edey, Trace Jackson Davis, and Ryan Dunn. And the G League team is JD Davison, Mac McClung, Bryce McGowan's, Leonard Miller, Dink Tate, Reed Shepard, and Pat Spencer. They get two white point guards at the end of their lineup. That's Team Jeremy. They'll do the tournament thing again like last time, and whatever. Any comments on that?
No, I do like the teams. That second
I
team
like
is a
the team.
little, even though they got dogs, they're a little like not a lot of position variety.
Yeah,
But again, you make up for that with straight dogs who are all like playing some of their best basketball.
yeah,
Shout out to
yeah.
the Thompson twins.
Koulibaly,
They're both cooking.
Koulibaly and the Thompson twins is like a scary three, like whatever position they're at
They gotta
lineup.
pick up full. Have to.
2, 3, and 4 picking up full. That's tough. With
I'm
Scoot at the
swinging it
one.
all day. We're not dribbling today. we
Yeah,
we
for
moving
sure.
without the ball today, guys.
Yeah, yeah. All right. 3-point contest. Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, Damian Lillard, Cam Johnson, Buddy Hield. Who you got? Let me go back again slower.
Did you say Jalen Brunson?
Yeah.
This is my
Jalen
first time.
Brunson,
Please, let's read that back a little bit slower.
Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Cam Johnson, Damian Lillard, Norman Powell.
This list sucks.
Not feeling it?
Since when do we put score like Norman Powell?
Yeah. Norman Powell.
Have you ever imagined in your life, I want to see Norman Powell in the 3-point contest?
No, I haven't.
Bro,
He was the weird one for me. His shot isn't even pretty. Like,
is Jalen
I mean,
Brunson gonna get him off in time?
I feel like he'll run out of gas after the first two.
That's what I'm saying. He's like literally just looking at how he shoots the ball. I literally have
Garland too.
thought, like, yo, Jalen Brunson, I wouldn't ever really want to see him in a contest of shooting.
You've had that thought?
Not exactly, but I'm literally thinking like he's got a scorer's shot. He's literally not
Yeah, he
built
does.
to like shoot in a contest.
I agree.
And who was the other name you said? The first three were crazy, all three.
Cade?
Cade Cunningham?
Yeah.
I mean, he's having a great year. His
Yeah.
reward is the 3-point contest?
So you're like me. This was a 3-person race for me. Buddy, Damian, and Cam Johnson. For me, no one else has a chance, really, to me.
I just don't understand. These other names are like I don't even think about them when I think of 3-point shooting.
Tyler Hero, how you feel about him?
He's okay. I'm not mad at that.
He could get high. He could win it, but I don't know if he could do it for 3 rounds. Like that's
Listen,
the other thing. You got to remember, these guys do 3 rounds of this. Like,
bro, if Jalen Brunson wins this shit, I don't know shit about shooting. Because I'd be willing to put money he doesn't win this shit. What the fuck?
someone else could get cold. That's the thing. Someone else might get cold.
But that's like even with that logic, maybe Norman Powell sneaks it away with that logic.
I mean, I'm just saying, like sometimes it just doesn't work out with the best shooter. You've seen it.
Darius Garland. I'm not a huge fan of Darius Garland in there either.
No, me either. That's probably for me.
Bro,
That's the weirdest one.
bro, he's built to be in the skills challenge every year, and the first we see of him is the 3-point contest.
He's not even in the skills challenge. Donovan is this time.
I mean, what are we doing?
Um, all right, the dunk contest. Matas Buzelis, Andre Jackson Jr., Mac McClung, and Stephon Castle.
Bro, the Bulls rookie
Yeah,
who took Patrick Williams' job really quickly, by the way.
he is bounced. Stupid bounce. I don't know if he has dunk contest bounce, but he is bounced. I
I
think I
must be out
got
of touch, bro. I must be out of touch on the league. I thought I was watching that shit, but
it's an easy dub for me. For me,
for sure. Easy. Don't
Castle's a
question.
good Castle's an in-game dunker. I think Jackson.
Yeah.
I feel like Andre Jackson might be able to do something crazy, but I haven't seen him do
He's
anything but just
bouncy.
like
He is
tomahawk dunk.
bouncy, but again, to your point, I've never really seen him like punch it like that.
Yeah, he gets a lot of
All his
putbacks and
posters are like
tomahawk.
speed because he's so fast. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
all like he has like one or two. Uh,
yeah.
he did have one. I forgot who he caught, but he fucking it was vicious.
You remember the one against Sacramento? He like had his whole chest on the rim.
That's
You
right.
know what
Yeah,
I'm talking
he's
about?
had a couple.
Yeah, he can get up. I don't. He hasn't done anything fancy though. And
I can't
Castle
picture.
dunks with
Like
power.
I've seen him like he's an athlete. I get it,
Yeah,
bro. The Chicago guy is bouncy.
yeah, he's bouncy.
All
He's
right, I gotta
bouncy.
see it to believe it because he hasn't played bouncy.
No, he doesn't play that bouncy because he's so skinny. He's so
Yeah,
thin.
he's very frail. So I'll chalk
Yeah.
it off to that. But I mean, Bulls play fast as shit, and he don't get out and run ever.
Oh, we'll see. I like him a lot, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I do think he's solid. I'm not like I just can't really picture him like in the
Duncan.
contest.
Yeah. Uh, skills challenge. They're by teams now. Team Cavs is Donovan Mitchell and Mobley. Team Rooks is Ricochet and Alex Sarr. Team Spurs is CP and Wimby. And Team Warriors is Draymond and Moses Moody.
Bro, throw the fucking contest away, bro. Throw the weekend away, bro. I'm tired of this shit.
Why is Moses Moody in the skills challenge?
All right, bro. I'll let it go. You know, like I don't know. Draymond? Like, what the fuck? Who wants
I
to
mean,
see Draymond's
Draymond,
skills? His fucking missing layups? Who wants to see that shit?
Draymond's gonna miss the 3-point shot on him for sure.
It is gonna be a fucking airball like shit or a disgusting brick.
Yeah, this is a weird one. They went kind of weird with the skills challenge. Just bring the shooting stars back, bro. Everybody wants it. The WNBA is fire. Bring the shooting stars back. Nobody wants to see this.
Bro, I don't want to
And
see
then
Jalen Brunson in the 3-point contest. What the fuck?
I can't believe that rattled you of all the things. Let's go to the All Star game, All Star tournament. So the All Star tournament teams are Trey Young in replace of Giannis Antetokounmpo, SGA, Shai Gilgeous Alexander, Jokic, Donovan Mitchell, Sengun, Siakam, Towns, and Wembanyama. That's a big team. Tough one for Towns, Siakam, Wembanyama, Sengun, Jokic, and Greek. That's kind of nuts. Anyway, Kenny has Brunson, Cunningham, Ant, Garland, Harrell, Jaren Jackson, Mobley, and Jalen Williams from OKC. And Shaq went with the classics: Jalen Brown, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, James Harden, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, and Jason Tatum. Shaq just went straight for the Hall of Fame.
I like
All
it.
Hall of Famers.
I like it.
Give me 10 Hall of Famers. I'm good. Yeah. Who do you got?
I really don't care. I, no interest in picking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be rooting for the old heads because I like the fact that Shaq kind of put them all together, the vets.
Yeah.
But
He won't have Anthony Davis. I don't know who picked Anthony Davis. Who took Anthony Davis's spot yet?
bro, they can't even get shooters in the fucking 3-point contest. I'm sorry, I can't move on from that shit.
Who would you have in there that didn't go?
Desmond Bain, please come back. I'm pretty sure he's been in them. Dalton Connect,
Yeah.
hello, like the obvious like new pick.
Yeah, I'd like to see Reeves in there. I mean,
Reeves
he's
is a
not like
good
a
pick.
knockdown three, but he'd be pretty cool.
Oh, I mean,
Isaiah Joe,
yeah, and he's a chucker, but he hits a lot.
DiVincenzo, I'm surprised. Like I feel like he did one.
Like, bro, I'm not like Norman Powell can shoot, but in the 3-point contest, like what the fuck? Like,
Don't
bro,
get
he might
started.
win. He's hot enough to like to possibly win it, and it
Yeah,
won't improve his standing as a shooter at all because he's just a
right.
bucket.
Yeah, that's facts. He'll just have the thing on the wall, and that's really it. He won't like get any other 3-point
I don't
records
know. I
ever.
guess I want to see Steph in that shit every year. Maybe. I mean, Clay could come back. Clay the last 2 months looks great.
I think you should be voted into those things. And if you don't want to do it, then they take the next highest vote getter. I think
Yeah,
they
but it
should vote
should be
people
like
for
a.
those.
The votes would be a list of like all the shooters.
Yeah.
I really, bro, I can't get over it. Jalen Brunson and Powell are like, I just can't even visualize why they'd want to do that. I mean, it's probably fun, but I still,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I think I'm gonna go with Team Chuck for the All-Star game tournament. Trey Young, Shea, Jokic, Donovan Mitchell, Towns, Wembanyama. That's a tough team. Like any team with Wemby, Shea, and Jokic on
They
it, I
actually,
just
they actually picked these. Like they drafted them. I'm assuming on NBA TNT.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, Chuck was some good picks.
Kenny just I'm not gonna talk bad about Kenny, bro. Oh, Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Tyler Hero, Darius Gar.
What the fuck are you doing, bro? What the fuck are you building, bro?
Jalen Williams.
Have you ever put a roster together in your fucking life, Kenny, on 2K? Like anything?
Yo, who's this five?
Have you never imagined a fucking lineup? Like you wouldn't just imagine 4 point guards together. Bro, how could you possibly go from Jalen Brunson to Cade Cunningham, then to Darius Garland? That's insane. I don't know if it was in that order, but, but those three names literally cancel each other out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the
That's so
exact order
crazy.
because I gotta look up the exact order. Hold on. It's like
Shout out to Cade Cunningham, by the way, a very deserving first time All Star, having a great year.
okay, here we bro, Donovan Mitchell was the last pick of the draft.
Fucking
Never mind. I don't even
disrespect.
want to read this no more.
Yeah, I'm tired of
Bro, he picked Jalen Williams before Kevin Durant. All right. I don't even like Durant, but that's nonsense. Hold on. This can't be right. I'm not. We're seeing it correct. 2 or 3 captains decide build teams around a specific concept. Barkley went for international players. His only American is Donovan Mitchell. That's kind of fire. Uh, Shaq leaned towards older legends. Brown and Tatum were only ones on 30. Smith simply took the guys who were left, though he made a note of saying during several picks that he wanted to reward winning. Yo, Kenny, you gotta chill, bro.
Kenny, get the fuck out. Get somebody who actually cares. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yo,
god. I love
for,
Chuck, by the way. Chuck's only American player being Donovan is fucking fire.
yeah, it is. But Donovan being the last pick is really nuts. So
More
this is,
disrespectful than the Trey shit, to be honest.
I know, the trade not even being on it. Yeah, this is the order. So Shaq's team in order: LeBron, Steph, AD, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, James Harden, Jalen Brown. That makes sense as an order. That's probably how I would pick. Like that's how I would order them in like talent probably. Um, Kenny's team. Well, let me go to Chuck's team. Chuck's team in order: Jokic, Greek Freak, SGA, Wemby, Siakam, Shingun, Pounds, Donovan Mitchell.
Towards the end, you like stay with size when you got enough, but I'm
Yeah.
not mad at it.
Yeah, well, Sengun after Sengun, it was Harden, Cade, and then he got Cat, and then it was Brown, Hero, and Mitchell. So like he really did pick the last two bigs.
Yeah.
So um Kenny's team in order: Edwards, Brunson, Darren Jackson, Jalen Williams, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Tyler Hero. Let me tell you who he picked Darius Garland ahead of. Siakam, Lillard, Mobley, Sengun, Harden, Cunningham, Towns, Jalen Brown, Hero, and Mitchell.
Bro,
All got picked after Darius Garland.
imagine, bro, picking Darius Garland when Damian Lillard is available. I can't I can't think of many worse basketball crimes.
Oh, he picked Jalen Williams, and the next pick was Wimbenyama. He picked Jalen Williams before Wimbenyama.
See, when you get idiots who pick like this, you make me hate on players who don't deserve it.
He picked Jalen Williams before Wimby and Durant. The fourth round was Jason Tatum, Jalen Williams, Wimby, and then Durant, Garland, Siakam.
Like Jalen Williams would have been the last pick that I wouldn't have been mad at. Like if he was the last pick, I'd be like, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, Siakam and Jalen Williams would be
The
probably my
last
last pick.
last pick candidates.
Yeah, because Siakam is not a good All Star game
No.
player. Like, there's nothing I want to see
There's
from
always,
Siakam.
bro,
And
every year there's one. Every year there's one guy who's like, I wish he just like would say no.
yeah, and it's no disrespect. It's just you're just not an All Star. Like Tony Parker used to be terrible in the All Star games. Tony Parker is a fantastic point guard, one of the greatest players to ever play basketball.
And
Do
his
not get
game
me
was
wrong,
fun,
but
but it just didn't fit like the
yeah,
playground
it's
like
not a
kind of free for all style.
right. Yeah, it's just not like I don't think Shingun can dunk on people, but I don't know if he's gonna do anything special. He has nice little flippy passes and stuff. He may do some cool passes, but I don't know why you want Shingun and Jokic on the same team.
Yeah,
That's kind of
randomness.
crazy. That kind of ruins the fun head to head that could have happened.
Yeah. Jokic is not a fun all-star player either.
No, he's not. One thing that's cool about the NBA though, like they'll probably never do this again. Like they tried it and it sucks. So they'll never do it again. So
That is true.
that's one thing we can look forward to. Them never letting Kenny draft a team
Yeah.
ever
Hey,
again.
the fans be letting them hear it when they do some dumb shit.
Yeah, like no, this sucked. This was trash. Twitter's gonna go crazy.
First
X
first
is gonna
take
go
will come
crazy.
on like the All-Star weekend's dead.
Kenny's team's gonna get blown out. We'll be talking about it.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenny
Yeah.
picking whoever's left. This guy.
Yeah. Anyway, oh, that's all I have. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
Thank you for listening as always. We're glad to be back. 2025, we'll see what happens. The league is crazy. Got a lot of NBA to talk about for the rest of the season. I think, is there anything else? Watch the Unrivaled Women's Basketball League. Watch it. It's fun. It's interesting. 3-on-3 league is really it's interesting. It's fun. There's a lot of energy there too. The
Hmm.
tickets are outrageous, but I guess that's why you watch it on TV. It's a lot of energy. They really did a good job with this. They made an arena just for this league, and the arena is cool. The floor is cool. The jerseys, I don't know why women can't get good jerseys, but the floor is cool. The atmosphere is cool. The teams are very well put together. It's a blast. It
I
really
feel
is.
like they
They did
took
a good job.
just from the little bit I've seen, they kind of took the big three formula and did it a little bit better,
Yeah, they elevated it for sure.
where a little more official, a little more structured. Like there was a little bit more of a game plan of like how we're gonna get this going, and they got the stars.
Yeah,
They got the
yeah,
stars. Big thing.
yeah. And the Stars got equity in it too. Like the Stars own some of it, so they're gonna stay in it, or they're at least gonna stay involved. They're gonna make
This
sure it
is
really is
where
good for the
like
team.
the big three doesn't have a lot of room to grow because of that.
Yeah.
Because they're it's and Ice Cube has complained about this, but like they're not connected with the NBA, so it's like weird.
Hmm.
Here, it's the players are in tune with both, so it only makes sense for the connection to be there.
The WNBA has this. I forgot what it's called, but it's an addendum in their contract that if they make more money playing somewhere else, like in their contract, they can go play where they make more money,
Yeah,
which is like the NBA obviously. Well, there's just like impossible to pay them more money than what they make, but that's something a lot of these other leagues could take into account. Like these guys want to play more basketball, they should go get their money. I think it would open up more things for teams. I mean, not necessarily for the big three particularly, but just if there's more opportunities where guys can get more talent or you can get more stars in it, they should just figure it out. Like
yeah,
the league just figured it out. Like, hey, how can we get more stars around the world, get more recognition? Oh, let them play where they make more money. Okay, so same thing here. They need to figure something else out for that.
yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah,
It's good first year though, man. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
yeah, me too. Yeah, yep. All right. Thanks for listening. As always, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.